What's going on, everybody? It's a brand new episode of Off Book presented to you by Broadway Black. We're ready to hit our marks. I'm going to hit our marks right now. My name is Drew Shade.
Michael Oloyede.
Christiani Pitts.
And Ashley Ford.
And we have more people than usual in the studio today, and I'm so excited. I love all of you. And it is definitely a party. It is a Broadway Black party in the building, and I'm so excited to have everybody. So Danye and Amber aren't here this week. Danye's in tech rehearsals for Fireflies, and Amber is singing her best life and doing what she does best at Elsie Fest today. That's a big thing for. I think Darren Criss started Elsie Fest. Do you know anything about Elsie Fest?
No.
I heard about it today.
Yeah, so it's it's been happening for the past couple of years, but Elsie Fest started, I think, in 2016. Darren Criss started it, and so it's like a Broadway festival, like a Woodstock for Broadway people.
Right.
Yes.
And it's cool. It's a nice little outdoor thing. I don't do outdoors, but it's a cool little thing. So I just want to introduce everyone that we have here. We're going to start, Michael, since you're sitting next to my left.
Okay.
You were just a part of Scraps, which was
at
the Fleet, and we've been talking about that show every week, and I did not make it. Y'all know I've been trying. I really have been trying, but the day I was supposed to go, we had to move the show up.
Okay.
To record earlier because Danye was in rehearsals.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to make it, and I had to, get back my tickets. And I was like, but I heard so many great things about it. Jerica, who helps produce this show, came and saw it twice. She said,
"Yeah, she saw it. Yeah."
So tell us a little bit about how are you Broadway Black? So you're an actor, you're also a producer as well. So you do a lot of different things. Talk about yourself. Come on, pump it up.
So I'm an actor, based here in New York City. Just finished Scraps at the Fleet Theater, which was an amazing experience. One of my favorite theater experiences I've had in New York.
Awesome.
The cast was amazing. The creative team was amazing. The story was amazing. It was great to be a part of. I'm also producing. I'm on the film TV side producing my first film.
Come on, somebody.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to get it.
Yes.
Trying to make it happen.
I feel you. I'm not mad at that. You are making it happen. And you're being very modest right now. Michael is the first straight male that we've had on this show.
Holding it down.
Give it up. Right. Amber is very upset that she's not here today.
Hey, Princess Amber in mine.
Yes, she's very upset that she's not here today, So maybe Michael might be one of the guests on Amber's dating show. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm down. I'm down for the love of Princess Amber.
Listen, for the love of Princess. That's what's up. And also, Michael, we met, you were doing, don't give me the line. We met a couple of years ago where you were doing a show. It was a Zora Neale Hurston play. It was a book turned into a play.
Mm-hmm. Their eyes are watching God.
Yeah. Woo, sir, that was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad. But you were a beacon of light.
It was a show that was put together.
Listen. I mean, they really tried with this theater space.
Project.
It was definitely a passion. Yes, and they were passionate. they had all of the passion. There was passion in the place. Child.
We put y'all in the South too because it was hot.
Oh my God! But then they had the nerve during intermission to have a stool with a water jug on it, and that was in the middle of the theater. They brought out a stool and they put a water jug on the middle of the stool, and that was the water fountain.
Were they trying to make you feel like
it was an immersive experience?
Okay, that's what it sounds like.
That's what it was.
It sounds immersive.
Say specific. All of that.
Oh, but look, that's news to me. I didn't realize. Look, now my eyes are open to something new. But Michael, I remember messaging you and saying you were a really great actor. That you made some really solid choices, especially with us being so close and surrounded by you. You stayed present in the moment, and I really appreciated that because there was so much happening.
Yeah.
In this black box theater, it was. I mean, literally, when you walked in, you were on the stage. You walked into the space and you were on the stage. No, you don't. You don't like that. No, you don't.
I'm all about it.
Listen.
I'm all about it.
Listen.
It was immersive.
Okay.
It was immersive.
We'll go with that. But yeah, so I'm happy to have you, and I'm happy to see your growth and your progress. And you also work with a collective.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit, because you guys had an event, or is it still coming?
It's coming up.
Okay, perfect. Talk about that. Come on.
So yeah. So I'm one of the founding members of an organization called the Creative Collective, And we are having our second annual conference called CultureCon on Sunday at the Knockdown Center in Queens. And it's just a day packed with panels and discussions. What we set out to do is create a space for people of color to just be.
Yeah.
From all aspects of the creative industries. If you want to be in the creative industry, we just create that space. So this Saturday, we'll have John Legend, Remy Ma, people in tech, people in music, people in art. Coleman Domingo's on a panel. Lala Anthony's on a panel. So it's it's just a day to just come and learn and grow and connect with other people.
So you put me on your list, right?
Yeah, you on the list.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Look, you got to slide it in there so I can come and attend and see the peoples and support and make sure that let people know about it. Like I think that's really amazing.
Drew, you're always on the list.
Well,
though.
I don't know. You and Lily. Y'all got your own thing going on, so I don't know.
No, Drew, you're always on the list.
Great. I'm excited because I definitely want to come and support. I thought it was a really cool thing, and I follow the collective, and I try to come out to what I can, or at least tell people about it.
I follow the collective too.
Yeah?
You guys are doing amazing work.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're gonna move right along, even though I had to pull all of the hot stuff because Michael is just modest, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, if you ain't gonna pump yourself up, who is?
Who is?
Besides me. I mean, I will.
Andrew always.
Listen, okay, now we have the Broadway star.
Oh,
Stop!
She's here. She's here. Christiani Pitts. My God, the star of King Kong on Broadway.
Yes.
Come on, Ingenue.
Woo, and we just started previews.
And that's why I'm so glad that you're here. I am like flabbergasted that you're even able to take your
Because,
take the time.
I love you, and I love Broadway Black,
I
and
appreciate
I wouldn't be
it.
nowhere else.
Oh my God!
I really wouldn't.
Your spirit has always been from the day that we've met, just it fills me, and I'm so appreciative. You're one of the reasons why I continue to do this because
y'all hear that? He said it first.
No, seriously, because you're so humble, you're talented, you're humble, you're hardworking, you're disciplined, you're God fearing. You're everything that I imagined Broadway Black, or even I thought that Broadway Black was before I even got here. And so that to be able to see someone live up to that and actually execute that in a positive way, in a positive spirit, is amazing to me because that's very far and few in between. I appreciate you so much for coming and taking your time because you don't have to. You're in a very grueling process right now.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. So
They're not playing with us.
So you started off, you made your Broadway debut in A Bronx Tale.
In A Bronx Tale. And I was Denise,
Mm-hmm.
who Aisha was on here a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
my sis, and she was originally Denise. And when they did it in Paper Mill. And I remember I love her so much. And when I met her, I was like, look at God. Okay, because you're not doing A Bronx Tale anymore. You're doing Frozen.
Right.
No, she was doing Waitress at the time.
Oh, she was doing Waitress, yes.
Casually. But because of that, I got to make my Broadway debut. And now the two of us are just, living in these different shows. And I was like, see, everything happens for a reason. She was,
and Ariana DeBose in the show as well?
Yeah, she was Jane originally.
Gotcha, okay, gotcha.
And I was playing her friend.
Gotcha.
And then she left to do Donna Summer.
Yeah.
And they bumped me up to play Jane, which was crazy. And
why was it crazy?
Awesome. Just because I hear that doesn't normally happen.
It doesn't.
I hear that when they see you
but see,
as
when
a
you're
role,
when you're favored.
When
you're favored.
Okay, well,
when you're able to be placed because you're so open and free. They can place you wherever they need you to be.
Let me tell you,
because
what's
you're
for
open.
you is for you.
Yes.
That is my motto. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's so funny. What's for you is for you. Was everything having to do with me for King Kong, because when I auditioned for it, I felt like there was no chance in hell that I was going to get it. So I went in the process being open and saying that I'm going to prepare, I'm going to do my work. But God, if this is for me, this is for me. So there's no reason for me to shut myself down.
No.
I was just like, I'm probably not going to get it. But hey, if it's for me.
Yeah.
And when I got that phone call, I was like, really, Jesus?
What happened? Like, talk us through
Really,
that. Like, what
Jesus?
happened when you got that call? Who called you?
My agent and my manager were on 2A.
Oh, because they was geeked,
That's
right?
when you know it's good.
Here's the tea. You either know it's good or it's just
or it's really bad.
Like they got a note from the casting agent, like,
Exactly.
you were
Shit.
very rude, or you were shit.
right.
Don't come back. And I've had that conversation with them for shows that I just knew. And they no. So I thought it was going to be that, especially because the actresses that were in finals with me were just. I'm huge fans of them. So I was like,
Can we even say who was in it?
I can't.
Okay.
But you all know them, and I'm sure that you guys will
we'll talk about it after.
We'll
the
talk
show.
about it after.
Okay.
Yes,
Get to hear it now.
Oh,
we say that every week.
Every week, I'm like, damn.
We talk about it after the show.
We'll say that off the mic. But they're fabulous, and so
Yeah.
I was like, that, you know. But when my manager agent called, they said, "You got the offer," and I said, "For who?" I was like, "For who? For who?
For what? For what? What am I doing?
Who do I get to be?" Just didn't believe it, and I cried. I was on the subway just sobbing,
Yes.
trying to call my mom. It was just
Oh my God.
That's beautiful.
I still
Yes.
cry every day just because
So,
I can't believe it.
When I first met you or saw your talent, you were doing a reading of
Yes.
another.
It's your turn.
Don't you do this?
Listen, you were amazing. Because this is a show about the Lindbergh baby,
Yes, the Lindbergh trials.
the Lindbergh trials, and it needs some work.
Yes, but you know what is the great thing about readings and labs?
Right,
is that
they are in development.
Exactly.
They weren't on stage like their eyes are watching God.
That was, that was immersive.
I'm just saying. Like, we have to be real. Like, let's talk. Like, we have to be all the way 100. Like, you know, we can't sugarfoot because they talk shit about us in the New York Times. And if we can't be honest with ourselves
This
and
is
with
true.
each other
You ain't
and be
lying.
candid with each other, what are we doing here?
You ain't lying.
You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to shade.
Yeah.
I want to know that we are all walking in a spirit of excellence.
Come on.
And that we are operating in that, and that we are okay
Yeah.
with identifying with each other. Like, hey, you're excellent, but this was not.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
and that is
real.
okay.
Yeah, that's real.
That
That's
was
how
okay.
you get better. That's
Yeah.
how art
That's
works.
how you get better.
Yeah.
But that is the beauty of readings is that people come and they say just that. They
Yeah.
say, "This was wonderful. This was not."
Right.
But then we keep it like so. They're doing another lab or reading of it very soon.
Okay, so hopefully
and
it's
I wish I
grown.
could be a part of it. I can't, but like I know that they're still working and developing. And I was just happy to be in that room. When you saw me, I was so happy to be in that room.
Well, you were
that
working
I
with
was
some
like,
dynamic artists. You know,
Yes.
Brian Terrell Clark, Rebecca Covington was in the room. Like, I mean, some. Was it Eden? It wasn't Eden. It
Yeah,
was
Eden
Eden
Espinosa.
Espinosa.
Stark
Sands?
Yes.
Stark Sands. Like,
Yeah.
she was in the room with some really talented, and everybody did some good work.
Yeah,
it
that-
just,
yeah.
sometimes the piece just needs some more love.
Mm-hmm.
It needs some more love. But I was just blown away by your choices
Thank
and your presence.
That was
In the
fun.
same way that when I saw Michael, I say, I can see a star there. Like, she
And
has
that
something.
was way before Bronx Tale. I mean, I
Was
was in
it?
Bronx Tale, but that was way before
you became Jane.
even- Yeah.
Well, I didn't, and I came up to you and I see y'all. I know how to pick the stars. I'm telling y'all, I know how to pick the stars because I came up to you. I said, "Girl, you got something." Did I not?
He did.
I came up to you and I pulled you. I said, "I don't know who you are, but you got something, and I need you to just
He
keep
did,
on
y'all.
shining."
He said it. And I'm telling you, made my whole day. I was like,
Yes.
I'm smiling. Y'all can't see
Because
it.
she's talented. So so I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you so much. We'll talk a little bit more about
Always
King
that.
Kong, and I'll tell you what I said about the music video later on. And so also we have here one of my dearest. I'm not going to cry, y'all, today, even though I probably will in a little bit, because I just even talking about her and looking her in the face and being next to her just makes me so happy and overjoyed. My friend Ashley Ford. She is a prolific writer, a wonderful spirited actress. She is everything, a comedian, and everything that you can ever imagine and dream of, and the best friend that all of you want, but you don't have because I do. And so I'm happy to have you. Ashley, just talk a little bit about yourself. Tell the people who you are and why.
Okay.
How?
It's so funny. You say that I did all those things, and sometimes I forget. And it just occurred to me the other day that I've basically been preparing to host a variety show for my entire life.
Yeah. Hello.
That's what I've been doing. But I am a writer, mostly of memoir and essay. I am working on a book right now that was recently bought by Flatiron Books under the imprint and Oprah book. So,
Yes.
So Mama Oprah called her up and said, "I want your book."
Wow.
no, that is not how
That is
works.
how that works.
That's how it works.
She said, "Oh, this is a girl I want to write a book for me for this company." And so she said, "Have my people call her people and get it done." And
That's
they
how it
did.
works.
They did. They literally did. Said Oprah
Maybe
wants
it was
to.
something like that. That is
But
true.
didn't she
Yes.
write you or call you and say?
Well, with an Oprah book, as I understand it, the reason a lot of people didn't know that she had an imprint, and it's because she has to like something personally to want to put it out, and she also gives writers a really long time to finish what they're working on and put it out. And so does my publishing house does the same. So when my book went to auction, I was very lucky that my book went to auction, and there were different publishers bidding on it.
Everybody wanted this book, y'all.
I can't wait to read it.
Everybody wants this book, y'all.
Well, when that happened, part of the offer from Flatiron was that they had sent it to Oprah's imprint, an Oprah book, and that she wanted it. And so now that's who's putting my book out.
Y'all,
I am also
Oprah is putting her book out.
Oprah
so bad.
Winfrey. Oh,
Like,
okay.
I am one person removed from Oprah. Like, do y'all realize I'm also one person removed from Beyonce? So, like, I am winning. Like,
You're winning.
yes.
You are winning. The connections are winning.
And she's like not one person. She is like directly connected to Oprah. Like, that is
stop it.
Amazing.
So there's that.
So,
And
can you tell us what the book will be about?
Yes, absolutely. The book is essentially about my girlhood growing up in Indiana as a young Black girl.
Am I in the book?
You are in the book,
Oh!
actually. Yeah.
I was joking. Like, I wasn't thinking
He's joking, but he's like, so far you're in it. We'll see if they cut that out.
Oh,
But,
wow.
so far you're in it.
Wow.
But my
I'm gonna be in an Oprah book, y'all.
And then it's going to get optioned to be a movie.
I
and
want
who's
the
going to
shirt.
play you?
it is that.
What you mean? Bitch, me.
Well, my dad went to prison when I was a few months old. He did not get out until I was about a couple months before I turned 30. And I'm 31, so
Wow.
I'm just now getting to know my dad. But he wrote me letters throughout the entire time that he was in prison. And so these letters sort of in the book mark different phases of my life because as my relationship evolved with him, my relationship was also evolving with myself and the world around me. And I wanted to find a way to write about tough things in a way that wasn't ultimately tragic, because I'm not tragic. And I think a lot of times when Black women get the opportunity to write memoir, people sort of expect it to be like this tragedy, and the triumph is only that they wrote the book. But I've known joy and I've known triumph
Your
and
whole
I've
entire
known
life,
victory
yeah.
my entire life, just amongst the things that have been interestingly not awesome.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I host a show and I do other things.
Right.
Yeah, there are
But you're
things.
also doing A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I am. I'm doing A Nightmare Before Christmas at
54 Below. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I originally it was because I did an episode of a podcast called This Movie Changed Me. And my episode was about The Nightmare Before Christmas because I'm a spooky bitch and I have been since
It's
I
your
was like
favorite
3.
shit. I know.
And it's my
Listen,
favorite
She always
shit.
has a little skeleton. What is his name, Jack?
Skeletons, Jack, Skeleton Jack.
I've never
The
seen
only
it.
reason why I know who Jack is and Kenny Loggins is because of her. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this is-
have some weird interests. I was
and Danielle
originally
Steele.
going to be
That's another one.
Oh,
Danielle
and definitely
Steele,
Danielle Steele.
Kenny Loggins, and Jack are like the 3 things that I know because of her.
Yes.
Oh.
Those are also the things that you
Make fun of me for.
that you make fun of me for. And have my entire life. But yeah, so I was originally going to just be doing the narrator because it's a low lift and I don't have a whole lot of time. But recently I decided to also take on the role of the mayor. So I'll be doing both.
Oh, are you serious? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, well, we just decided it like the other day.
Okay.
Nice.
That's what's up. I'm excited. Like, I'm excited
Yeah.
to see you back on stage because me and Ashley did theater in high school together.
Yes.
And so she was the Ruth Younger to my Walter Lee.
And where y'all from again?
We're from Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we're from Fort Wayne, Indiana. We went to a school called Paul Harding High School, which is now closed.
Yep.
But it lives
As
on in
is
our
our
hearts.
middle school.
Right, as is our middle school. Village
Wow.
Woods, yeah, our middle
Yeah.
school is closed as well. So yeah, that's so crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about this recently about what happens, like the privilege of being able to revisit your memories.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about how my husband, who grew up in middle,
Oh my God, you say
middle to upper middle
She just
class.
got married like 2 weeks ago, y'all.
I did.
And I missed her wedding because I was in The Preacher's Wife. And when I called her and told
But
her
I
that
missed the preacher's wife.
right, so she did miss the preacher, but she just got married a couple weeks ago to an amazing, gorgeous man named Kelly. And I'm so happy for it, and I'm still going to cry because I missed the wedding because I was in Preacher's Wife and I had rehearsals and I couldn't make it back home in time to get there. And I called her and told her that I probably would miss it. I didn't know for certain because, the schedules don't come out to the night before rehearsal. So I didn't know for certain if I was going to miss it or not, but I was just bawling in tears. And she said, nigga, what? You in Preacher's Wife?
Right. I'll see you later.
So
To me, it made I was like, Kelly and I are going to be hopefully married for the rest of our lives. Like, we're always going to be married. You can always see us being married. There will be so many opportunities to celebrate with us.
Talked to me for months because I was in the show and I missed her wedding.
No.
For months.
No, it's a day. You know what? It's a really great party, and it's a lot of fun, and it is imbued with a lot of meaning. But at the end of the day, if it came between my friend doing something that helps them realize their dream and being at my wedding, I would always rather they do something that helped them realize their dream. Are you kidding me? I would have been pissed if he had showed up at my wedding. I would have been mad because he's been here too long working on this so hard, his whole life working on this. Like, no, you don't turn down roles. You don't miss shows. That's not what we do.
And that is your friend.
That's your friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right,
That's my friend. Y'all don't even understand.
You're going to have to lock it up.
I know. Y'all don't even understand, though, that this runs really deep. And I'm so happy for her. And it feels like it's me. And so for her to say things like that, to lift me up, she knows firsthand how hard it's been. I'm sorry.
But he's doing it. It's okay. I also want to mention I'm an investor in Broadway Black.
She is.
So,
Yes.
just so you know.
Yes.
I support my friends.
Yes. And in the ways that really matter.
Right.
Because Lord knows when this business is fickle.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing something that's niche. And white people are at the helm of everything that operates in this business, and they don't want to see black people. They really just don't want to see black people in the same way. They want to use it as a token to make more money. They don't want black people at the helm. They don't want black people making the decisions.
Right.
They side eye you and make it really difficult for us to survive here without them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that does not subscribe to whiteness. I don't bend and kowtow to that. I won't play the respectability politics. You're going to respect me as I am here. I am present. I'm a full person. I'm not invisible, and you will not treat me as such. And so I get into a lot of issues because of that, because people think that I should bow down to them, or think that I should operate in a way that makes them comfortable, and that's just not how I operate.
Right.
It never has been. It never has been. And so I think people think that I'm acting brand new, but this is just my spirit. And this is just how I am, and I know who I am. And then sometimes I question the value because people fight up against me so hard, and I question myself. But it's time out for that. And Ashley's one of those people that helps me realize that it is okay to be who I am.
Yes.
That maybe I might need to change my delivery at times, but it is okay to be who I am. And so I cry because you just don't get friends like that often. You don't get people. You don't get people like that. That are solid, that are successful, that are just everything that you need in your life.
They don't need anything
from
you.
you.
They just want you to be. That's so
special.
beautiful.
You
That's
know,
so special.
I would say one of the things that my husband, when we were just dating, when we were first starting to date, he was so sweet to me and so kind and so compassionate all the time. And I had a moment where I said to him, I can't keep up. Like, you're so good and you're doing these things and I can't keep up, and it makes me feel like an insecurity.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel inadequate. And what my husband told me at that time was, Ashley, we're on the same team now. And you don't score points against somebody on the same team.
Wow.
Where is his brother, Jesus? Where is his brother or his cousin?
But, I think that I had already thought of love that way to a certain extent. But when he verbalized it like that, it changed my relationships completely because it made me realize that when I did something for a friend, even if they felt like, I would always be worried, if you do that, then they're going to feel like they got to do something for you. And I was like, I don't care about that anymore. I just don't. And I'll just have to explain to them when I do that it's because I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because we're on the same team. When you win, I win.
And when I tell you that she means that, woo! When I tell you that she means it, and she operates in that I aspire to be more like that. I'm so glad. And I tell you all the time that I'm so glad that you're my friend.
It's mutual.
Yeah, I love you so much. Yeah, so we're gonna, because I'm gonna keep crying if I keep going.
Yeah, don't keep crying.
And look, I even texted her earlier. I said I'm trying to cry all of it out now because I haven't seen her since she's gotten married. So, yeah, so we're gonna move on. She's a wonderful actress. We did so many shows. We did.
Oh my God, Dream
You're
Girls.
a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Dream Girls, Raisin in the
Rumors.
Sun. Oh my God, Rumors.
Rumors was so much fun. Rumors was the best because there was a young woman who was also.
You talking about Lena?
Call him out.
Name.
Call him out.
Now you talking
Well,
about
actually, there's two young women. There's Lena and there's Nina, right?
Lena and Nina,
so
yes.
Lena, this was her. Was
And
not
there's Munchie.
usually. Oh, Munchie.
Oh God.
Oh God.
these names.
We went to a pretty
And-
much
yeah.
black high school.
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
With like some token white people
Right.
in there.
And Munchie's actually white.
And Munchie
Yeah.
is.
Oh, right this.
Yeah, they called her Munchie because before her braces got on, her
Can we talk about
Eek.
Well, I mean, y'all, this and she took the nickname
she referred to herself
as
as Munchie.
Munchie.
Like I'm not,
but she
embraced it.
She was nasty, y'all.
Yeah, there was a lot there. But the first night that we did the show, one of the women gave a line that was actually at the end. She gave it in the middle of the second act.
That was
Supposed to close the show.
Like it was like.
And so we all just.
So look, it was like we were all just like frozen. So I went over to the phone. And I said, look, I don't know what y'all about to do, but I'm about to call somebody. Because the phone was supposed to ring or something was supposed to happen. And
The phone was supposed to ring. It didn't ring. So, and we all just keep talking because we don't know what to do because the phone's not ringing. And we're all just like, wow.
And she didn't mess up. She didn't say the line.
And
that's
she
not
didn't
supposed
say
to-
the
like,
wrong
It was
line.
just,
Oh,
it was.
Munchie, girl.
Been there, done
So
that.
our director was so mad at us. Like he was so upset with us. A man that shall he will remain nameless because he's irrelevant. Yeah, he's definitely irrelevant.
He tried to get. He really tried to mess with Andrew.
Oh yeah.
At
Oh,
our
I mean,
senior
like my. He tried to mess with my education,
year. Yeah.
and the money that was like scholarships and things like that because he was
No.
upset
Don't
with
mess
me
with the
about.
money.
Yeah, he was upset with me about taking another role elsewhere because I didn't want to do the final show at our school because I wanted to. What?
What's really messed up is when he did that, he took
messed up.
he messed
Messed up
me
you up too, yeah.
Because I wanted to be, there was a scholarship program in our town and you get nominated in different subjects.
Right.
Everybody knew Andrew was going to get nominated in theater. He was the only
person
one who had done like community theater. I was in band, so I never did like outside shows. Like all the shows I did were at the high school. Andrew was at the Civic Theater. He was at First Pres.
I
He
did a
was
lot
at
of stuff. A lot of
Every
theater,
single
yeah.
theater that you could perform at in or around Fort
Right.
Wayne, he was there. Plus, he was in a choir. Like, he was just everywhere.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, Andrew's going to get nominated for theater.
Ash
I'm
is
going
gonna
to get nominated for
English, right?
And it's going like, oh, yeah. And then, like,
great. We'll have a
hopefully
chance.
We'll have a chance.
Because we had to compete against all the other schools in the city. So we're the only black school, so pretty much only the only black students that would be nominated in these categories. But because he was so upset with me that I did a production outside of the final show my senior year, because I wanted to have more dance experience. We were doing West Side Story. I ended up playing Chino.
Yes.
And I wanted to have more dance experience, and we were working with the Fort Wayne Ballet. And so I didn't have any really ballet training, so I wanted to do this show because of that. And I ended up doing it, but because of that, he was mad and did not nominate me for the scholarship at all.
So he
petty
nominated
of an adult.
me.
Look, he nominated Ashley.
So he nominated
and
me.
he had an opportunity to put an alternate, but because he was so upset with me, he didn't even put an
didn't even
alternate
put
at
Andrew
all,
as an
like,
alternate.
even down.
So I had to represent the school for theater, which I had no chance in because I hadn't done any community theater.
And it was a
instead
good
of English.
It was a good amount of money for us to be able to use for college, and that was detrimental for us because we didn't have money for school. Like we were in a place, and so
Was this a black man?
no, this is a white dude.
Of course.
Look, now
yeah,
you.
yeah, he was a white dude. But you know, it's funny
You already
because
know.
I ended up hosting like years later, just a couple years ago when they did the first Broadway Con. I helped them develop a panel discussion. I hosted a panel discussion for the first Broadway Con. I usually do one every year for Broadway Con. But because that's like a big thing now, and in my mind it didn't even register that it was a big thing for everyone else in the U.S., but people were flying in to come here. He showed up in the audience of the panel discussion for me hosting at Broadway Con. And after it was over, came up to me and said, "Hey, I saw that you were in the program and saw, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, how are you doing?"
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like I couldn't believe it. Like I saw you in the program, so I decided to come and see your panel discussion. There's plenty of people, and I'm signing autographs and talking to people, and trying to be encouraged and encouraging to other people. And he came, and I had to literally just say, "This is such a full circle moment, God. I thank you so much for allowing." And I've sort of released that, but. And when you think about it, you as a child, it sort of brings back a little bit
disgusting.
of animosity. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
disgusting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
an
yeah.
adult.
For an adult.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I'm 17 at the time, 17, 18 at the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
So, but we'll bypass that. But I mean, we just have a lot of experiences.
I know. I'm like, let me.
I
talk
think
less.
we keep
Wow.
not completing some stories, but y'all know what we mean. There's a
Right.
lot. We have a lot of history.
Sixth grade. That's a lot of. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's a
friendship.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're doing Nightmare Before Christmas, which
I
is
am.
happening when? Just tell us when it's
The
happening.
Nightmare Before Christmas is going to have shows, obviously, October 31st. And then again, December 13th, because it's, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's both. And it's, it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm in the show with an amazing young singer, Natalie Walker, who is like, she's really great. And I'm really,
She is really great. And she's
excited
really
about it.
she's really popular on Twitter as well. Like as far as the theaters community is concerned, she's like
Yes.
really funny. So look her up, follow her, Natalie Walker. I like her spirit and her energy. I've never met her in person, but
She's
she
great.
seemed like a cool little white girl.
We just met at another friend's wedding this summer.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Tim Burton, she looks like he drew her.
Yes. Now, see, if I would have said that would have sounded shady. But because she said it, she knows it's funny. Like,
Wait.
I mean, she really does, though. She's a gorgeous woman,
Yes.
but I can see that. How
She
you can say that.
absolutely
Yeah.
looks
Looks
like
like a
Tim
I
Burton.
love
character
that.
out of that world.
Yeah,
She does.
like I love that. Yeah, and she's really beautiful too. But
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so I think we're going to move on. I think we everybody's been introduced. We got Michael, we got
we did it.
Christiani, we got Ashley.
Yes.
And we know all about y'all, so thank y'all so much. We usually talk about what we've done this week, but I think that we've done enough. Talked about catching everybody up. And this week I've just been really just preparing. We're gonna have a Halloween party, y'all. I can't tell y'all all the details, but we are gonna have a
I
Halloween
can't
party.
wait.
Yeah, I did talk about it before we started recording with them, so they know. But I'm really excited about it. Yeah, so one thing at a time, but. Look out for that. That's coming soon. That should be on the show next week. We'll talk about it. But we're going to move on to I said what I said. So a little bit about this, you guys. Since you guys are new to this, I'm going to read a monologue. I'm redeeming myself from last week because last week was really horrible. I'm sorry, you guys. But I'm redeeming myself today, and we're going to read this monologue, and you guys have to guess what the play is and who wrote it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need another character who did the monologue or no? Just
You don't, but I mean, because
bonus points?
sometimes in the monologue there is bonus points, but sometimes in the monologue they say the character's name, so we don't really do that.
Okay.
See what happened to me last week, Michael.
Right. Everyone's like, I think it's
Right. See. Okay, so I'm ready. Here we go. Woo! Let me do my vocal exercises. Right. Ow, wow, 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 right. Woo! All right, here we go. Yo-ho! Party! Turn up the music. Have y'all ever been to a party where there was one fool in the middle of the room dancing harder and yelling louder than everybody in the entire place? Well, honey, that fool was me. Yes, child, my name is Topsy Washington, and I love to party. As a matter of fact, when God created the world on the seventh day, he didn't rest. No, child, he partied. Woo, yo, party! Yeah. But now let me tell you about this function I went to way uptown the other night. And baby, when I say way uptown, I mean way uptown. Somewhere between 125th Street and Infinity. Inside was the largest gathering of black, Negro, colored Americans you'd ever want to see. Over in one corner, you got Nat Turner sipping champagne out of Eartha Kitt's slipper. And over in another corner, Burt Williams and Malcolm X was discussing existentialism as it relates to the shuffle ball change. Girl, Aunt Jemima and Angela Davis was in the kitchen sharing a plate of greens and just going off about South Africa. And then Fat sat down and started to work them 88s. And then Stevie joined in. And then Miles and Duke and Ella and Jimmy and Charlie and Sly and Lightning and County and Louie. Woo! And then everybody joined in. I tell you, all the children was just all up in there, dancing to the rhythm of one beat, dancing to the rhythm of their own definition, celebrating in their cultural madness. And then the floor started to shake, and the walls started to move. And before anybody knew what was happening, the entire room lifted up off the ground. The whole place just took off and went flying through space, defying logic and limitations, just spinning and spinning and spinning until it disappeared inside my head. Woo, Topsy. Yeah. That's right, girl. There's a party going on inside of here. And that's why when I walk down the street, my hips just sashay all over the place. Because I'm dancing to the music of the madness in me. And whereas I used to jump into a rage anytime anybody tried to deny who I was, now all I got to do is give attitude, quicker than light, and then go on about the business of being me. Because I'm dancing to the music of the madness in me. And here all the time I've been thinking we gave up our germs, but no, we still got them. I know I got mine. They're here in my speech, in my walk, my hair, my God, my style, my smile, and my eyes. And everything I need to get over in this world is here inside of me. It's inside here connecting me to everybody and everything that's ever been. So, honey, don't waste your time trying to label or define me. Because I'm not what I was 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago. I'm all of that and then some. And whereas I can't live inside yesterday's pain, I can't live without it.
That was beautiful. Andrew just performed that, by the way.
Listen, it's hard to read, but there was some hiccups in there. But I'll have it memorized by the time I audition with it because I think I'm going to use it for myself. But,
it's good.
So tell me, who is it, where, and from?
I'm flabbergasted.
If you know, do you know? Does anybody know?
I do not know.
You don't know? Okay.
Like, I really thought I knew for a second, and then I was like, no, I don't.
Okay. It's so the character's name is Topsy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Any other clues in there that help you? She's dancing.
There's a party.
Just take a wild guess. Like, who did you think you might have thought it was?
Like, when it first started, I was like, oh man, this could have been something in Ain't Misbehaving. And then I was like,
is this
no,
produced? Has this been produced?
This has been produced.
On Broadway?
I don't think this was on Broadway. Let me double check. I don't think this made it to Broadway, but it was filmed. It was on PBS.
Is there another version of this? Like, are there two versions of this same?
Like, what do you mean? No, so it was off Broadway in
Off-Broadway.
Yep, off Broadway in the 80s. I'll give you that. And this is I can't give it away.
And it's a play or a musical?
It's a play.
It's a play. Child, I don't know.
Okay, so it's a play that has a series of vignettes, so every scene is different. I'll say that. Wild guess. Just name anybody. Do you think it's a male or a female playwright?
I would think it was a woman.
My first guess was a woman as well, but
okay, I'm not denying or saying it. I'm not yay or nay.
It sounds a little bit like in the vein of, oh my God, I'm blanking on her first name. I always just look by the last name.
That's okay. What's the last name? Do you remember the last name? You can't think.
I can't.
Oh, I understand. Because this is like high pressure for me, too. I was like, oh, my God.
It's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
So, and this is the final monologue of the play.
Ugh.
This is so I'll say it is a male playwright.
It's amazing.
Oh.
It is a male playwright. He wrote and directed the show.
In the 80s.
In the 80s. He also was the director of a show that Amber Iman was in.
Shuffle along.
Okay.
Yeah, I see his face. I'm blank. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna feel so bad when you say this name.
That's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to y'all. So
Lord.
this is the Colored Museum.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wow.
Andrew was in
Trash.
this show in college.
I was in this show in college.
I
That's why I
was just
chose
talking
it.
about this show with somebody else, with one of my castmates.
This is the
Bring
Colored
that
Museum, written by George.
just talking about this.
Written by George C. Wolfe. The monologue was Topsy. Monologue is the final monologue. It was on PBS. Had Loretta Devine in it.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of different other people. So it's vignettes in every scene. So yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces, and I actually just started to study this because I'm going to be using it for an audition this coming week.
Nice.
Which is not normal for a man to do this show, but I'm going to do it as I can't really say trans, but because I'm not a trans person, but in my mind the character is a trans woman. But so this particular piece is just really something special to me, and I thought that we needed that. We needed that to remind ourselves that we cannot live in yesterday's pain, but we also cannot live without it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of pain going on, and I just thought that it was just very fitting, and also I thought that you might guess it because I was in the show in college. I played Miss Raj. I talked about this before, but I played Miss Raj in college, and I love that monologue too. But I couldn't do that one because I've already done that one. So this cast had Loretta Devine, Tommy Hollis, Reggie Montgomery, Vicki Reynolds, Denitra Vance, and Colette Baptiste. In the show, and so we're paying homage to them. So go and read this play if you have not. You should know about like the back of your hand. There are so many great monologues for Black people. It is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. So check it out. So that was I Said What I Said.
Yes.
So thank y'all. So we're gonna move on to the hot topics. I think I got it. I got
You
it.
did.
Yeah.
I hear
spirit,
your
Amber.
morning singing videos.
Well,
Oh,
listen.
yes.
Well, because I quit smoking. I guess I didn't talk about this. This week has been a transformation for me. I have been smoking for 18 years. I can remember when we was in high school, I would sit in front of Ashley's house while her and her boyfriend her then boyfriend were, having a picnic. And they would do stuff like that. They would have picnics in front of the house on the grass.
That's cute.
That's
cute.
I mean, listen. I would pull up on them in my car like, "What are y'all doing?"
Yeah. And then get out the car
And join
and sit
them.
on the blanket and
with
eat
them.
the food.
Yeah,
with
with them and eat the food with them, and then I would smoke a blunt. They'd be like, "Andrew,"
Yes.
and I would smoke a blunt. I was like, "Girl, shut up." Ain't nobody paying attention to me.
And I'm like, my mom works at the jail.
Her mom is
Can we
her mom is
please?
her mom is a CEO. Yeah.
That is
just a little
funny.
weird.
But you
It's
see,
just
that
a
was
little
that
weird.
back then I didn't realize, how much light skin privilege I had because I just act like, oh, if you do nothing wrong, nobody will bother you. That was before the time people were, we were
Right.
recognizing that people were getting shot dead.
Wasn't nobody talking about privilege
Right.
at Harding
Yeah,
High
no one
School.
was
Right.
talking about privilege.
It's like
Yeah.
nobody really understood at that
What it
time. So
was.
yeah. So yeah, I was very problematic and doing whatever I wanted to do. And I smoked blunts everywhere, like literally everywhere. But I am just like quitting smoking for the first time. I've never gone this long without because my anxiety has been so high all of my life. I didn't really realize what I was suffering from, but I used weed as a self-medicating thing, and this is my first time going without, and I am actually doing really well. So I quit drinking when I came back from my birthday vacation in Puerto Rico. I quit drinking, and then I quit cigarettes about a month ago, and then I quit weed this past week, and so I'm just trying.
And
to
that means
focus my
no
energy.
edibles either.
No edibles, nothing.
Nothing.
I'm doing nothing. I'm actually replacing it with the gym and healthy
Yes.
eating.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah,
Get it,
so I
get
go
it,
to
get
the
it.
gym 6 days a week.
Wow.
Because I be wanting to smoke, y'all.
That's
so
not easy.
I'm going to the gym 6 days a week, and I am cooking all of my meals for the most part, just to occupy the time in my hands of what I would normally do. And it's amazing to me how much time I am saving, actually, and also how productive I am in just
and like just being aware of my time and
Yeah.
being properly using it, and not feeling like I have to rush everywhere. Even though I was late today to the studio, but we're preparing for the Halloween party, so that's why
Right, you
I
got
was
a lot
late.
of stuff going on.
Yeah, and you know, just taking it one day at a time, and so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I forgot what I was going with this.
Hot topics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes!
Thank you.
Love it for the gig.
I love it.
Love it for the gig. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just a different way of life for me, and I'm adjusting. But you know, this gym is gonna save a lot of lives, because I be wanting to strangle some people. And so
all that steam.
yeah, for real, like really for real. But I'm just grateful that it's working thus far, and so just keep praying for me that it's gonna keep working and we can make some shit happen.
After a while, you'll forget about it.
Yeah.
I stopped smoking like a year or so ago.
Really?
And I thought it was going to be very hard. I just
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of marijuana usage just in my family. And it is what it is.
Well, you know, I mean, that's how we cope, because it's like, you know, weed is like, you know, like Cat Williams said, the fuck it drug. Like, and if you living in America and you black and you don't know, if you're not smoking weed, what are you doing with yourself? Especially if you live in New York City, because this shit is crazy.
Oh, man.
I started smoking at 30.
See?
Really? Like you had never before?
No, I had done it. The first time I did it, I was 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing it regularly at 30, but that's because I had, well, actually it was more like 28. I had seizures. And I started, my husband was like, he's like, you might want to try and just see if it helps. And I was having seizures probably like at least once a week, like
Wow.
minimum. And now I have them probably 3 or 4 times a year, if that.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I read about
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
The oil and how they use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very upset with her because she got high without me for her first time.
Dang.
That's
Ooh,
true.
you ain't right.
It's okay. It's
You
okay.
ain't
Don't
right.
worry.
We
The
made up
Lord
for it.
punished me. Because the first time I got high, about 20 minutes, no, maybe like an hour after I had like been like, oh my gosh, I just smoked weed. Is this? Oh my goodness, I am feeling things. And then the cops knocked on the door.
No.
And
That's the worst
they
thing
were
that
like,
ever happened.
Worst thing.
yeah.
That is the
Well, no.
worst.
First they called my phone and I hung up.
They called you.
They called me. It was the campus police. It was at Ball State.
Oh my God.
They called and I hung up because I was like, oh no, that's a mistake. And I just hung up. And I thought if I pretended it wasn't happening, nothing would happen. And so then they showed up at the door. And my friend was like, she said, Ashley, the cops are here for you. And I was like, oh,
Is this
no.
the
She
one
said, they
nipple
said
girl?
they called. And I said, they did. They
Is
did. They did call. I hung up. And she said, I think you should go talk to him. And I was like, okay. And it turned out that while I was upstairs getting high for the first time, a drunk driver hit and ran like my car downstairs. And so I go downstairs and my door, like the whole side of my car, the door is all messed up.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh no. And the cop is telling me what happened. They got it on video and they caught the guy, but I should make a claim with my insurance. And so they're going to file a report for that. And then he's like, do you want to try to open your door to just see if it works? And I said, okay. And I opened it, and my door made the most god-awful screeching sound. It was like it was really terrible.
Oh, my God.
And as soon as that happened, I started laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing.
Baked in front of the officer.
And
Oh, Lord.
the officer was like, well, people have different reactions to these things. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, this is real sad. You know, like I was this is very sad. And then he was like, all right, here's your like a number or something to call, and he handed me his card. And I dropped it, and then he went whoopsie daisy and picked it up. And when he said whoopsie
You laughed
daisy,
again.
I fell over laughing. This grown ass man just went whoopsie daisy, and I was like, oh no. And I hit the ground laughing. And literally the cop, I mean, he's a campus cop. You know what I mean? Like, so he was just like, all right. Like, he kind of looked at me like, damn, girl. You know? And then he just...
Were you still living with the girl with the one nipple at the time?
No, I was...
what nipple?
It got burnt off in a fire. Her one... it got...
No, it's not funny.
Okay, listen.
Woo! Hot topic!
Literally.
Literally.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, it got burnt off in a fire, so she only had one. Listen, she has a baby now, and I really want to ask her what happened in that one. Like, I really just want to be like,
how do you get it out? Like, is it going to
exactly
explode?
Because there's nothing. It's like a Barbie booby. It's like nothing there. It's like it's just smoothness. And I saw it because I had to. You know, I'm not.
She must have to have it drained or something.
I have no idea what you do about your milk coming in.
Is there a titty catheter?
I don't know if there's a titty catheter. I just know that she had like a Barbie booby, and now she got a baby. And...
Look, Christiani's in the
not
bathroom.
Doing this with y'all today.
She's in the bathroom.
I'm not here today.
Okay, we just gonna move on.
Sorry.
So in Hot Topic News, we're going to go right in to what everybody wants to talk about. Bette Midler.
Woo! What in the First Wives Club hell?
Right.
What? And y'all around Hocus Pocus?
And listen,
she knows we all want to watch that movie. How
and now we can't.
Like,
and now you won't.
Like, ma'am, like Bette Midler has been the apple of my eye for a long. Beaches is my favorite movie. Like, Bette. So, Bette, if you don't know, if you're not caught up to date,
Jesus.
Bette Midler said and quoted Yoko, who I don't even care who she is.
Yoko Ono, who was quoting Zora Neale Hurston.
Oh, I met her in the elevator the other day, by the way.
Who?
Yoko Ono.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was so random. This
is before Bette or after?
Before.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, crazy. Back to
okay.
that.
Well, Bette Midler said, "quote: Women are the N-word of the world." End quote. Raped, beaten, enslaved, married off, worked like dumb animals, denied education and inheritance, enduring the pain and danger of childbirth and life in silence for thousands of years. They are the most disrespected creatures on the earth. She also went on to say, I think I have the other tweet as well, where she apologizes. She doubled down.
Yeah.
On the experience, and it's like, oh God, I'm okay. First of all, let's just do this tweet. She doubled down and said, "I gather I have offended many by the last tweet. Women are the etc." is a quote from Yoko Ono from 1972, which I never forgot. It rang true then, and it rings true today. Whether you like it or not, this is not about race. This is about the status of women, their history. Like there is no black women in the world. Like,
no, we don't.
Like,
I mean, which is my reaction to that, even online, was just, you ever fuck around and find out you don't exist? like you just
well, I mean, truthfully though,
you just
one
one day be
matter.
like, well damn,
right.
I sure did think I was somebody.
right.
Bet set me right, I guess.
I mean,
no, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It's a bastardized quote over and over and over. It's a mixture of quotes, not just from Yoko Ono in 1972. Malcolm X said something very similar before that. Zora Neale Hurston said something even more similar before that. Like, even in your disrespect of black women, you are misquoting black women.
Right.
How?
It's levels.
I can't. And so she has now issued an apology. After everybody laid into that ass, rightfully so, and went the fuck off on her because she just wasn't thinking. She said, the too brief investigation of allegations against Kavanaugh infuriated me. Angrily, I tweeted without thinking my choice of words would be enraging to black women who doubly suffer, both by being women and by being black. I am an ally and stand with you, always have, and I apologize. Well, girl, the racist popped out.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. When I read that I am an ally, I felt like in being one, when you decided to type, How did it not come to you that what the hell am
Because
I
you're
saying?
not a-
What-
Even
Because
in
you're
the
not an
use of
ally.
that word, like
Yeah,
like
ally.
even thinking about that word, like
Right.
what?
how could you continue
Well,
to
here's-
write and say this is
is
exactly
good.
what
This
I
is
You know,
good.
This
the
is
thing
solid.
is, ally is an active word.
Right.
To
It's
ally
action.
is a verb.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all. Second of all, we don't need no more allies. We need accomplices.
Mm-hmm.
You need people who are going to put themselves in front of the vulnerable while lifting the voices of the vulnerable from behind them. Like
Yeah.
that's what you need people to do. And not only in front when there's cameras around or somebody paying attention. In front when there's danger.
It's a feel
Like,
good word
that's
for them
what you
now.
need.
It's a
Yes.
feel good. It's like it
Yes.
makes me feel good.
I'm an ally.
Yeah.
I'm an
Right.
ally. You know, it's like
Not
no,
racist.
Yeah,
My best
no,
friend's
you're not.
black.
It's like the people. It's like the people. How many people rocked a red ribbon who couldn't give a shit about the actual people living with AIDS
Exactly.
and HIV?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they don't care, but they want to wear the ribbon because that's the good thing to do, and it
Right.
marks them
Or
as
the
good
safety
person.
pins.
Right.
Yeah.
The safety pin.
The safety pins. I think, why do I need to look for a safety pin, bitch? Speak up.
Just do
Right.
it.
Right.
Just
Like,
live
what is-
it. Just
What
be
is
it.
the problem? I just don't understand
Yes.
what the problem
It's
is.
really not that. We don't need a uniform for it. We need action.
right.
People are looking for a safe way to be a revolutionary.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is they want to identify with the revolutionaries and the heroes and the change agents and the people who got things done, but they don't want that same level of risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
want
and that's and like I said, earlier this week, white rage is very selective because there are so many white people speaking up about this particular sexual assault case and Kavanaugh and the doctor, the woman that is that testified. But I'm confused where y'all at when the black bodies are laying in the streets where the actual death is happening.
I was just having this conversation with somebody today about how if you don't see the connection between Kavanaugh's reaction in the hearing to the fact that the officer who just shot Tamir Rice
Yeah.
is now
Working
employed,
again.
recently
Yeah.
employed.
As a police officer.
As a police officer. If you can't see the connection in these white men winning because they will always win because of a particular thing, then you're missing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's troubling when people can rally behind. And I don't want to pick a struggle because pain is pain. But if you can rally behind Me Too and you can rally behind the protection of women's bodies, then you have to rally behind the protection of these black men's bodies. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Because you can't pick one and say, well, I'm in danger and I
Right.
wish you the best for everybody. You can't do that.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't.
But
you
let's
can't-
remind you, 53% of white women voted for Trump. So
Listen.
they're protecting their own interests. They didn't burn their own house down. They wanted this. This is what they wanted to
But
happen.
that's because what people don't understand, at least not to me, is that when other people are safer and when other people have more rights and when other people have access to basic goods and basic needs and basic dignity, just dignity, everybody benefits.
Everybody benefits. from it.
You benefit when I win. Absolutely. If winning is being able to live my life and take care of myself and live a life of dignity,
Right.
Because it's a cycle.
because
It's
it
like-
is a cycle.
Right.
It's over and over and over, and people keep thinking, "Oh, I'm going to hoard it. I'm going to hoard mine. I'm going to hoard the power I have. I'm going to hoard the power that I'm adjacent to."
Right.
Because
Right.
that's what it is with white women. White women understand, whether they want to admit it or not, that they benefit greatly from the patriarchal white supremacist
Right.
system.
Facts.
Right. But which is why I think when something like Kavanaugh happens, you have people who are like
Oh,
flabbergasted
yeah.
because they're like, wait a second. Now I thought we were on the same team.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that's when they feel obligated to speak up. Some of them feel obligated
Yes.
to speak up.
Yeah.
But that's when it just kind of bothers me is that if you're going to be so forthcoming with your fight to put on a pink hat and talk about women's rights, and I just don't understand how you can't be as equally passionate as everybody winning, as everybody benefiting from dignity.
I can't tell you how many white women have put together a panel or a march or something like that who hit my inbox 48, 72 hours
Before,
beforehand
'cause they need a
asking
black
me-
representation.
Because they need some black
Yeah,
representation.
that happens to me all
They
of the
need
time.
somebody
I
to
bet.
show. Somebody all of a sudden went, now, we don't have any people of color on this. You know what? I have Ashley Ford's email. Let me reach out to Ashley Ford. But what they don't know about Ashley Ford is
You
that
ain't that one.
I'm not the one. Kindness is a choice.
Right.
People think because I'm gentle and I'm kind that I can like just show up for anything and I'll just be grateful to
Now
be
y'all got to
there.
remember, she is my friend.
Yeah.
She is my friend, and she's picked up some things from me because I have picked up some things from her.
Yes. Now I'd say more like my grandma, Billy Coles.
Yeah, that is true.
Who would get with
Listen.
Andrew all day long.
That's what we're talking about because
But
her grandmother came and saw us in a production of Dreamgirls. And she saw us, and her ex-boyfriend named Brett Tubbs. Shout out to Brett.
Brett
He's one of our
Tubbs.
good friends. We were in a production of Dreamgirls. He played Curtis Taylor Jr. I played Jimmy Early, and we're both light-skinned. And so there was a time where we were sort of competing for Ashley, but that's another story. Now we're both gay. We're both gay.
Now they're both gay.
Right.
Now we're
But
competing for each other, honey. That's what you didn't know.
No.
I love you, Brett, but no, I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
not it. And,
That's
and
like
Brett
my
would be
brother.
the same way.
Right,
yeah,
right.
they're both like,
That's my brother. But we were on stage together doing that production, and her grandmother looked up at us. She said, "Look at Brett and Andrew up there trying to out-black each other." And then she came home and told Ashley, said, because I used to come and pick up Ashley every morning for school when I got a car in my senior year, junior year. I got a car, and I would come and pick her up every day in the morning for school. And her grandmother would be there, and she said, because she would see me beginning, I was always like running late, driving the car, and like, because I had a car, so I was like, I could just,
living.
whip it, right. Live it. And I smoke a half a blunt on the way to school.
Yes.
Every day. It was nothing. Listening to Brandy, turning up my Full Moon, like
Full
that Full Moon
Moon.
album. Aphrodisiac was the album like that year, like 2005.
Yes.
Destiny Fulfilled came out, so I was
that was a
like,
good time.
I was waking up smoking good and
You were living.
I was living my
So good.
best life.
So
Yeah.
good.
But I would pull up to pick her up for school, and her grandmother would be like, Andrew just has such a nice grade of hair, but he keeps it so dry.
Damn.
That's why I said his hair looked moisturized. Because my grandma used to just kill Andrew.
Oh, she used to kill me.
No.
But I loved
Oh
her
my God.
so much.
But she also,
Aw.
and to be fair, the reason why she gave Andrew so much shit is because she really loved Brett.
She did love Brett.
And she was heartbroken.
Yeah.
with Brett. And I was like, Grandma, he's gay. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing. Like,
Oh,
and she was like, you ain't
Grandma.
mad? I'm like, how am I be mad about him being gay? like, was he, like, clearly he's been trying.
And she really loved Brett, and she knew that I was trying to like come in and take Brett. I was very
She-
competitive. Like, I was
Yeah.
trying to come in and take Ashley from Brett, like our
And so
freshman
she
year
was
of high
like,
school.
no.
Yeah,
She
so
was
it
like, no, Brett-
and she never forgot that. Like,
she was like,
never
no.
forgot
She's
that.
like, Brett was so much nicer.
Ooh, Grandma.
But she did love me though. She did like
did.
me. And so yeah, God rest her soul. Rest in peace to Billy Coles.
Rest in peace, Billy Coles.
Yeah. But also let's go on to in the same realm. So our co-host Amber Iman. Princess Amber Iman. Yes. She had posted a tweet about this experience and what Bet. And let me go back really quickly because I want to know: are you guys talking to other like white theater artists about this particular instance?
I haven't gotten to yet. We've been in tech, so everybody's been like in their own dressing rooms, not really communicating. So we haven't got to talk about it. But I'm interested to see what.
Someone commented on one of my statuses, and I'm at the point where she admitted that it was wrong, but she had some segue, and she was like,
Oh, yeah.
but and I'm not in the place
Yeah.
or space, or I don't have the time to even hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A rebuttal.
Yeah.
I understand that because I'm just interested to see, like, if we're going to be talking about this with our white patrons and our white theater artists, then I also need to slide in there that hey, well, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? What do you think about
Right.
the black bodies in the street? Because those
Right.
people are dying. This is not life
yeah.
or death.
Right.
It eventually can be because he's sitting in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Right.
But at this point, it's not life or death.
Right.
Right.
But it is a moral compass that we sort of really need to evaluate. And I want us to really think about how we're going to address the white patrons that are wanting to talk about this because they're obviously very vocal.
Right.
So if we're going to have the discussion, let's talk about it. Let's
Right.
have it all. But Amber tweeted something out. She said, because y'all know that, so a couple of weeks ago during the Emmys, Stephanie J. Block talked about, and we talked about it on the show, and Amber, went in about it too, that Stephanie J. Block deleted a tweet, so I can't find it right now. I should have screenshotted it, but she said something along the lines of calling Issa Rae a girl.
Yeah.
Like, girl, you need to get off your phone. Like, in a way that was a tone, the way that it was worded just didn't, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
I remember
Because Issa Rae was standing up to clap for Betty White, but her phone drops, and so she picked it up to try to see if it was cracked. And when she picked it up to try to see if it was cracked at all, the camera went right to her, so it looks like she was on her phone. So Stephanie J. Block, said, I don't know who that girl is, who I'm sure Issa Rae's making a lot more money than you are, Stephanie J. Block, being Cher in the musical that nobody's going to want to see.
Ooh. Bathroom.
I can promise you nobody's
break.
going to want to see this show. I hope that, my people stay employed, because there's some people over there that I love. I want y'all to stay employed. But we'll, listen. Okay. Stephanie J. Block said this about Issa Rae. A lot of people went in. And so when this new bet situation happened, Princess Amber Iman tweeted out, she said, y'all really need some black friends, post haste, directly. Why would y'all tweet such tomfoolery and think it's okay? Jesus help. CC Bette Midler's at Stephanie J. Block as well. Throw your phone in the river. Go read your Bible and eat some vegetables. I'm tired. Is what
I can't wait till Amber's a grandma.
Listen,
because it's only going to get better.
Right.
It's only going to get
the
better.
materials is going to get richer and richer.
Refined.
She not go eat some vegetables.
Right.
But, so somebody tried to reply to her and say she was referring to John. I hate when white people try to come in and try to educate, like we don't know what we're talking about. Like we haven't. Like, girl, I read the same thing you read, bitch. Like I read the same exact thing that you read. Right. And so she said she was referring to a John, and then tried to put a Wikipedia link. Amber said, guess what? That doesn't make it any better. Read her tweet without that line and it has the same impact. She said, fair enough. I just wasn't sure if you knew. She retweeted a retraction where she addressed it. Like, I read it.
Right.
And it's still gross. And then the other lady replied, I keep thinking about this and wanted you to know that I did hear what you said. I was totally wrong. She came back today. That's actually today, 7 hours ago, because I'm reading this exchange now. She came back and said that. So amen to her for coming back and saying she was wrong, because woman, we don't need you to explain anything. We can read just like you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when Morgan James replied, who's a wonderful actress and wonderful voice. She played Tina Marie in Motown the musical, and she sings down. We love Morgan James. Yes. Morgan James replied. She said, "Oh Lord, what happened?" After she saw Amber's tweet. So I guess that sort of sparked Stephanie J. Block to reply, because they're both they're all what do you call it? Blue check mark.
Verified.
Verified. So they're verified, and so I guess that allowed Stephanie J. Block to really see
it, because
the exchange. Right. It elevated it. So when Morgan James said, "Oh Lord, what happened?" Stephanie J. Block replied to both of them and said, "Meet my Gigi Rose and my auntie." She has a picture of some women here that are Jewish, that look a little bit on the not really my color, and me and Christiani's color. That she has this picture of like 6 or 7 women that are actually it's 5 women and a gentleman here. She said, "Meet my Gigi Rose and my aunties. I have so many beautiful skin tones in my family and circle of friends. We love and respect each other greatly. We call each other girl often. No love or respect is lost when said. I'm sorry so many women were affected when I used it." Amber replied and said, with a picture of 5 black women taking a selfie, she said, "Meet random girls from Google. We come in all different shades and tones. We love and respect each other greatly. We call each other girl often, but when addressing women outside of our circle, we call them women because we our mothers raised us to be respectful and have class. #next."
Ooh.
Don't try
Don't
it.
come.
Don't try it.
Don't
I never
come.
would. I never
like
would.
don't come.
Never will.
Because I didn't like.
I never will.
But I just thought that was appropriate because you're trying to justify. Right.
Which you're wrong.
You're
just
wrong.
admit you're wrong.
You're wrong. Just but now you still want to double down on it. And this just happened on October the 5th.
White people hate being wrong, though.
Oh, they
They
can't
really
take
do.
it.
They hate being
They
wrong.
cannot take it.
And this idea, this weird thing that they do of like, look at my proximity to a person of color.
Right.
And it's like, and it's like they know enough now not to say, I've had black people to my home for dinner. So they just
know that,
they just find it more like interesting, I
Right.
guess, ways to do it, but it's really the same thing.
It really is the same thing.
Like it's really weird. Like I don't like that.
I don't.
hate it.
I don't understand it. But we're tired.
Tired.
Like, we are
Yes.
With a T at the
beyond. Yeah, tired.
Good
Yes.
for Amber for
Yeah.
saying like, I said
Yeah,
what
for
I
sticking
said.
up for herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Amber's
Right.
a smart
Said what I
woman.
said.
She
can't-
is.
You can't try it. with
yeah,
her.
she definitely is a smart woman, and I'm just happy that she's able to be vocal and that we have these platforms where we can really speak out for people of color. Because normally we would be nervous and scared, like, oh, I can't say this to Bette
Right.
Midler, I
Right.
can't say this to Stephanie J. Block.
Right.
You know, I might not work, or I might, and that should not be the case. We should be able to have these dialogues and have these discussions and keep moving forward because
Right.
it does not affect the art
Right.
at this time, but
Yeah.
it will affect if I support your art or not.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that it's great that we're able to do this, and I'm over having to explain and educate white people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
draining. It's not something
Yeah.
we should have to do.
But
You
it's
don't.
like we're never going. When
Here's the
does
thing.
it stop?
Here's the thing, just don't. My husband's white, and
But Kelly's different, a different breed.
he is, but the only difference, it's not who he is. Like, he wasn't like, Kelly was raised in Noblesville,
Right.
Indiana. You know what I mean? Whereas we had like a few white kids in like our school, he had, I think, 2 in his whole school. And we had a small school, and he had a huge school. Like,
Wait,
this
2
is
white people or 2 black people?
2 black people.
Okay, wow.
Like, his whole school. Like, so, the thing with Kelly is that, and this is what I've noticed with my white friends in general, because Ashley's the same way. Our friend Ashley is the same way. Some white people are just willing to do their own work.
Yeah.
And they're never going to be the white people who are standing up, talking a bunch of stuff, making whole careers and stuff out of going around the country and talking about race. It's never those people.
Right.
It's people like our best friend and like my husband who are just generally like, I watch myself.
Yeah.
I understand in every instance the implication that my whiteness brings into a situation, and I'm the one on guard looking out for me and how I treat everybody else here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he's
Right.
just doing his own work.
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yes, and when people say stuff to me, like, because people will say stuff like,
Right.
wasn't it weird having to explain stuff to him? I'm like,
I don't have to.
I don't have
Right.
to. Like,
and we don't when we talk regularly, we don't watch our mouths like Kelly is.
No, you don't have
Right.
to.
Right. It's really really the best thing. I love Kelly so much.
And
But I'm just
everybody
saying,
could do
like-
that though with any sort of privilege. Like,
Yes.
that's all it takes. Because
That's-
even
it's
Yes.
as a
being
person,
human, yeah.
you just got to do it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to be careful, like with having an education. Like, I would love to talk to people now about the things that I want to do and the things I want to like change. But that in itself is privilege because I was
Yep.
able to go to school and
Yep.
be educated on the things that need to change. But that doesn't mean that you just have to acknowledge it,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
hard, and it's hard to say somebody who wasn't able to have an education or whatever. It's hard to say like, I learned this, and this is why I want to be better, and this is why it's hard. It's difficult to acknowledge
Yeah.
that you have
Yes.
something over somebody else.
Right.
But once it's there and it's out in the open, the way you can learn, the way that you
Yes.
can. The way you interact with people will become so different. And I think that the problem is that these white people, they're just afraid to be wrong or just afraid
Yep.
to be. It's okay.
Yeah.
It is
It's okay
okay.
to be
Our
wrong.
history, the way our history is set up, it's
okay to be wrong.
it's a long ways before you. But what you shouldn't do is continue to just live in it,
Right.
Right.
and thrive in it, and act like nothing's going on.
Right.
Also,
And
let's
that-
just be real. It's not, if you're a white person, it's not going to ruin your life. People they act like, oh, it ruined my life. I'm like, you was embarrassed
No.
on the internet for 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, that was the worst. You get
Right.
embarrassed for 3 weeks
Right.
in this economy.
Right.
Right.
People were talking about you.
Right.
Like, yes, like that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't think of anybody. You go look for somebody whose life was actually ruined. Like,
well,
they
there
can't
are
work.
people that
They can't do, but they can't
but they
work and they
deserve
can't do
it.
stuff like that.
Some people deserve, like some people that like the racist lawyer.
Yeah.
that,
Oh, yeah.
There's some people deserve not to be in the same level or
But
the
I
same
could have
places that
sworn
we
he
were.
was working again.
I'm
like,
not for certain, but I know that there are some people that have had their lives like completely changed that cannot find jobs
Right.
in the same industry anymore because this pops up every time they Google their name.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have a right to it.
And I'm not mad at
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. Like
Right.
you chose it.
Right.
So take the consequences. So
Yeah,
It's-
and I feel a little naive to say that her heart was in the right place, but I think that Bette, had she just thought before
Yes.
she spoke,
Her heart-
had she just thought,
her
about
her
it.
heart was back in 1962.
Hello. Because she used the word nigga. nigga.
Right.
Like, what?
I mean, she said N-word. She didn't.
N-word,
She
but,
knew
like,
better,
but
but
she typed N-word.
Right, she typed
Typed
N-word. Right.
Yeah.
Like
For-
using that word alone,
Right.
Or thinking of
like,
that should
ma'am,
set
you
up
don't get
alarms.
any. You don't get any type of abbreviation.
Yes.
Any like you don't get that.
Don't
like,
say
like,
it. Don't
no.
even bring
Yeah.
it up. Don't mention
Don't
it.
breathe. Don't breathe by it.
Don't
I
even.
guess what I'm saying is her point could have been met
in a
so
different
many
way.
other ways.
So many
Yes.
other ways.
In so many other ways.
many other
Yes.
ways.
while acknowledging that like black women exist.
Yeah.
It's
But
almost
it's
like she knew like
revealing.
it would
But-
cause.
But it's revealing
It's very
when
revealing.
somebody's in a moment of like anger
right.
and maybe like panic. Like what they say and what they do in that moment is revealing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
sure.
it's one of those things where it's like, do I think the Bette Midler in Happy Times who feels like she has a moment to step back would have said something different? Absolutely. But the Bette Midler
Right.
who was like
Frustrated,
nervous
right.
and frustrated said
She
that.
like she revealed her true self.
Yes.
What's under them
Yes.
blankets, girl?
She said,
And
I
I
feel
think-
like a nigga.
Yeah, but
Right.
but isn't that the thing, right? Like that's what happens with people.
Yeah,
How many people have
look.
you known who it's like everything was good until the minute they got stressed out and then they said something wild, to
Right.
you,
Yeah.
or did something wild, and you were like,
I'm
"What?"
like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just wasn't in the right
I was
place.
hangry,
Yeah.
and
know,
you like, "No, you
one of
can't
my-
just call me the N
one
word
of my
because you didn't have
first
a piece of cheese."
Right.
Like,
No, absolutely not.
One of my first experiences here in the city, I was walking. It was after the opening night of Trip to Bountiful with Cicely Tyson.
Oh, Cicely,
And
yes.
I was
love her.
walking through Times Square. Andre DeShields of A Misbehaving, Full Monty, original cast member who we ran into on the
Yes,
train
I
tracks.
did.
Yes.
One of my he's spoken into my life countless times, and a really good friend of mine. And he was walking me from the theater to the party. We were literally walking in the middle of Times Square down the street. He did not care. We were walking by horses and stuff and like carriages, cars, and like he just was walking and talking with me. And he said, "Who do you think was the choreographer for a show, Bette Midler show?" Because we were walking, but Bette Midler was on Broadway at the time. She was doing that critics show. She was a one-woman show where she was a critic. I can't think of the name of it. And he said, "Who do you think was Bette Midler's first choreographer when she was on Broadway?" I said, "I'm not for sure." He said, "Me." He said, "So when you start to build this platform, don't do to them what they've done to us. Find a way to include them." And I thought about that for a while, and I love Andre DeShields, but now I'm just like, no. No, I there's no way that I can do that because they already have enough. There's enough for you. And this is another example because at first I was feeling like, well, I love Bette Midler. I love, she's done so much and so many great things. She's inspired me. And I never really thought about her as a, I guess, as a white woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people in your mind are just icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really thought of her as a white woman, but she is a white woman who has lived as a white woman.
As a white woman.
And even when I read, Jennifer Lewis's book, Jennifer Lewis speaks very highly of Bette Midler. And, Jennifer Lewis is black as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what
and
Jennifer
loud.
Lewis thought about that
Right,
tweet.
exactly. So it's just like, but we still, like, no matter your proximity to blackness and black people and people that have lived this experience, you will always be a white woman. And that white woman jumped out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's unfortunate and sad because now we have to take a look at everything else,
Right,
in a
right,
different
right,
eye,
right.
right? Like, and so it's
Yeah.
like, girl, I'm so glad you're not on Broadway no more right now because them tickets probably would be going. It would be boycotts outside of
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
theater.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna move on because this is just so much. We're gonna move on. That was the main hot topic this week that just had everybody up in arms. But we're also gonna talk about some good stuff. Dominique Morisseau,
Yes.
who we love to keep her name in our mouth, playwright. Won the MacArthur Foundation Genius Grant. She is definitely a genius.
Yes.
She's also coming to Broadway with her first show really soon for Ain't Too Proud.
Yes.
Yes,
They-
yes,
Yep.
yes.
But we're going to talk about the fellowship comes with the fellowship she just won comes with a $625,000 no strings attached stipend to encourage and continued creative
Ching, ching.
endeavors. Like she's
Wow.
paid.
Paid.
Wow.
You don't be asking Dominique for no money, y'all. But she got a nice check
But
because
she
she's a
got it.
genius.
On top of the checks.
And she deserves.
She deserves it.
Her Detroit Project trilogy, consisting of Detroit 67, Paradise Blue, and Skeleton Crew, and Sunset Baby, just just the dynamic. All of her plays are just great.
Body-
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Michael. Bringing it on in, bringing it together for me. But in each of her plays, she aims to shed light on broken systems and hardships that affect life in urban African American communities across various areas. Mostly her plays take place in Detroit because that's where she's from. She is a Lucille Lortel and Outer Critics Circle Award nominee, and she just had her play that was at Lincoln Center, Pipeline, on the big screen in a lot of theaters nationwide. And so I'm very, very proud of her. I'm happy for her because she truly deserves.
She's such an amazing person.
Yeah, she's awesome. So we love Dominique Riso. Shout out to her for winning that. Speaking of Ain't Too Proud, which she's the book writer of, they just announced the cast of that show, which is like
coming
phenomenal. So the LA cast was Derek Baskin as Otis Williams, James Harkness as Paul Williams, Jawan M. Jackson as Melvin Franklin, Jeremy Pope as Eddie Kendricks, and Ephraim Sykes as David Ruffin. And there's also, some Nasia, my friend Nasia's in there. There's a couple of people, some beautiful women in there, some other beautiful men. And so I'm just really excited about them, and congratulations to them. That
Taylor,
show is coming.
sorry, don't forget my girl Taylor.
Taylor, yes. So
Now, when is that coming?
That is coming. The previews will begin February 28th. And with the opening on March 21st.
Wow.
So go ahead and get your tickets because they will be selling out. Because the show's been selling out because it's on out of town right now. So I think it's in Toronto. And the show is like one of the highest grossing shows for each one of the theaters that it's playing at.
Wow.
And so it's been really, really great. I'm excited.
I want to
wait
go.
See that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jersey Boys ran for how many years?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years because
Yeah.
that's how I met Titus Burgess.
Wow.
At the 10-year anniversary of because he originated the black person role in the only black person in the show. Titus Burgess, he originated that role. So it's been on for 10 years. So that's crazy, right?
That's crazy because
wild.
my point is the Temptations' music is no tea, no shade, just far better.
Right.
So, if
So
that show
much
could
better.
run
It is so
for
much
10
better.
Actually
years,
facts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and I mean, Motown before it left, it wasn't a great book, but it was a jukebox musical, and that was selling out, and they still closed it anyway
Right.
to bring in other stuff. I think they brought in with Charlie and Chocolate Factory. I don't know what they brought in. I forget. But they brought in
Didn't we
something
go
else.
see that?
What, Motown?
Motown?
Yeah, I saw it so many different times.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I did see it.
I don't remember if we went together. I don't think we went together. I think that was a time where you was being funny. You was going with Lena Dunham or something.
That is not.
No, that was Raising the Sun. You went to go
not
see
the
without
call
me.
out.
No, that was some. Yeah, I went to go see Raising the Sun without you.
Yeah.
But that was because somebody else bought me a ticket
Uh-huh.
and took me to go see it. But we
Who was
did go
that?
see Motown together because we went with Brett. And I was still on crutches. It was right after I moved
You were on
here.
crutches. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So-
goodness. Oh, wow.
But anyway.
Anyway,
continue.
yeah, right, because, I'm going to get mad all over again. Speaking of one of the stars of Ain't Too Proud, Jeremy Pope, he's
Yeah.
also coming to Broadway again.
Yeah.
He's going to start in Broadway in December. So, this
Booked.
is, he's booked.
He's
so
booked.
They literally
He's real
moved the
booked.
show so that he could do both of these shows on
Wow.
Broadway.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's the tea I got, so.
Yes.
But he's going to be doing Terrell Alvin McCraney, Oscar winner.
Oscar winner.
The Oscar-winning Terrell Alvin McCraney. He's going to, his play is called Choir Boy, and
I can't
that's
wait
going to
to see
begin.
that either.
So
oh,
good.
it's so good,
So good.
so good. It's a play with music, and so a lot of the music is like a cappella.
They
but,
sing.
Oh, they sing down. Jason Michael Webb is doing the music for that, and I love him. He did the show that I was in, First Noel, at the Apollo. And I love him to death. It's one of
I
my good
loved
friends.
that.
You loved the First Noel, didn't you?
I did.
So Jason Michael Webb he wrote the music for that. Him and his partner wrote that show. But he's doing the music for Choir Boy. The previews begin December 11th. Opening is scheduled for January 10th, and it's just a limited run through February 17th. So it's going to be really quick at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. That's through MTC. And I was just at MTC because I work at MTC. And so when this past Monday they came in, so I saw Terrell and the cast came in and they all greeted each other. It was just so good to see him. Chuck Cooper's in the show. Nicholas Ash from Queen Sugar.
Sugar, yeah,
Yep. Yeah, but he did this show before he was on Queen
Yeah,
Sugar.
he was
so
younger.
he was one
Wait,
of the
who is he on Queen Sugar?
the Sun.
The Sun, yeah.
Yep. And so he was in
Yes.
this show when they did it off Broadway at MTC 5 years ago.
Wow.
And so
Good for
was
him.
Jeremy Pope and so was Chuck Cooper. They've also have
Gerald
Daniel
Caesar?
Gerald Caesar, Daniel Bellamy, John Clay III, Caleb Eberhard, Marcus Gladney, and J. Quentin Johnson. They'll join those gentlemen that we just named, as well as Austin Pendleton, and the show will be directed by Trip Coleman.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's
a good show.
It is a good
Sounds
show.
amazing.
It's amazing. So I'm really, really happy for them.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming. American Sun just started previews
about
with
to be
Kerry Washington.
Right.
No, that's
Wait, they're already in previews?
They just started previews
Oh,
just
my
the other
goodness.
night.
Oh, wow.
But I've been hearing some mixed things about the show.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, like the way I said
Oh, I
that?
never heard anything.
Ooh, I've been hearing some different things about the show.
I've heard some things, too.
I'm a little scared to go see it. I heard actually somebody that we've had on this show before, so I don't mind saying his name, Keeley Gibson, who is a good friend of the show. He had some choice words to say about what he thought of this show. And he just was basically saying that it was white liberal nonsense.
I'm not surprised. It's Broadway.
Yeah, and I don't want to say exactly what he said because I think that gives away part of the show, but just basically what he was saying, that it just was tragedy porn.
Oh yeah, I've seen something like that
Yeah.
recently.
Like tragedy porn. And so I'm like a play? You want to talk about what it is?
I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. We are operating in a spirit of excellence. We can discuss our opinions. That doesn't waver.
I don't know how other people felt about it, but when we went to go see, I think it was called Sweat.
Ooh, by Lynn Nottage.
I didn't get to
You
see
know what?
that one.
And I will say this too, because I don't think that's Lynn's best work, but it's the work that has white people, the most white people in it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why, it was given the acclaim that it is. And I'm not saying the show is bad, but I can definitely see the tragedy porn in it because, yeah. Yeah, if you've never seen Sweat or read it, go and check it out. The way it was done on Broadway was definitely interesting.
It was. I would not say it wasn't interesting. I actually really loved the set design.
Okay.
I think like at a certain point I was like, is what I think is about to happen going to happen?
Yeah.
And then it did, and I was
yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then and that's that's difficult for me because sometimes white people just, this is the only way that they can receive those types of messages.
It's the only way. It's crazy to me.
It really is crazy
Yes.
to me too. But white people receive these messages in a.
It's not good if it's not traumatic with black people.
Yes.
In it. It's
Right.
not good. They don't
Yes.
get it.
Like we have to die in order
Yes.
for them to.
For it to be like out
Oh
of this
my
world.
God! Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, even people were saying, Danye's Sugar in Our Wounds was so phenomenal.
Yes.
And even the reviews for that were just not, because there was so much black joy.
Yeah.
Yep.
They couldn't
That's
handle
how
the.
Sinking Ink was when it was people didn't get it, and it was joy all through the.
There's
the
so
play.
much black joy, they just don't
Wow.
understand and can't process black joy,
They can't.
especially if it's
Right.
if it's a slavery narrative.
Right.
They
They were
can't.
ready to come and get
Right. All the
12 years a
dramatics.
slave and-
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the shoulders. The shoulders.
Wait. Wait. What just happened? What just happened?
That's Tony.
It's so funny
listen.
because I went to go see Sugar in Our Wounds being like, ooh, Lord, what is this? Like, Andrew kind of told me what it was about, but he had so much emotion and he loved it. I was like, okay, then I'm going to go see it and
Yeah.
give it a shot. And I went and saw it, and I was worried about where it could go, and ended up being like, I think I would follow Danya to the ends of the earth.
Oh my God.
Like,
Same. I'm right there with you. I am right there with you.
Wow.
Like I stand. Like I like.
So make sure you go see
standing.
his new show, Fireflies. It's actually
Yes.
starring Chris Davies, who was
He's-
on.
he was
Yeah,
he was on Sweat.
Yeah.
He was on Sweat.
And he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And he's great. And he
He's
was on
on
Atlanta
Atlanta.
FX.
Yes.
So it's starring him and
I saw it yesterday.
I can't think of the girl's name right now.
DeWanda Wise.
DeWanda
DeWanda
Wise, who was the
They have
star
Sunday
of.
shows.
They do have Sunday shows.
Yes.
Which is why he's not here right
Seeing
now.
it next
Yeah.
week.
So
she's got to have it.
she's got to have it.
She was
Yep.
also in Underground, and that's where I
Yes.
first
She
saw
was
her.
in
And I was like,
Underground.
she's amazing.
She is amazing, and she has
Yeah.
some gorgeous eyes. Her spirit was
Yeah.
really good too.
Yeah.
Met her after the show. She's just a nice spirit. I love people with good
she's-
spirits.
Yeah.
But also speaking of Keelan Gibson, shout out to him. He is one of the writing fellows for the Playwrights Realm.
Nice.
So he's his play New Slaves was picked up, and he will be having a writing fellowship there. And so I'm proud of him. So exciting for that.
Congratulations.
So congratulations,
Black
Keelan.
excellence.
Yeah, we love Black excellence, and we're gonna keep right moving. But American Sun begins previews. It began previews yesterday. It runs through January 27th, so it is a limited run, 16 weeks. You also get your tickets now if you want to go see the tragedy porn.
I want to see Kerry Washington on stage.
Oh, I do too. That's why I'm going. I really want to see her on stage. So it's American Sun takes place at a Florida police station in the middle of the night, where a mother, Kerry Washington, is engaged in a search for her missing teenage son. Soon, her husband, Pascal. Who was this? Pascal?
Oh, Adam Pascal, right?
No, not Adam Pascal. This
Pascal,
is Steven.
Stephen Pascal.
Yeah, Steve Pascal. He's like
It's Adam Pascal for sure.
Adam Pascal. Oh, okay.
Wrong as hell.
Pasquale or whatever. Pasquale, Stephen Pasquale, whatever. You know, I think he was in Once. That's what I think I know from Once. He was in Once. Yeah, white man. Appears and the evening spirals out of control. Yeah. So, woo, that's happening. So go see Kerry Washington. And all the, we talked last week about all the black people that were funding that. Gabrielle Union. You interviewed Gabrielle Union before, haven't you?
Yeah. I know Gabby.
I know Gabby. Girl, I can't. Also, Shonda Rhimes, who, Shonda Rhimes too.
I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
Shonda.
she's aren't she, like, doesn't she read your work and you're like in a writing group or something?
Oh, there's a networking group that we're both part
Yeah,
of.
okay. Mhm.
She's nice.
Yeah, let me think. You know Jada Pinkett too?
I do not know Jada.
Okay, so
but
she's
please
been-
introduce me because Red Table Talks give me my
Yes,
life.
Red Table Talk is everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it too.
I love that whole her mother, the daughter, the
Yes.
whole dynamic of
Me
that.
too. Me too. It's just healthy.
Yeah.
It's so healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
The one between her and Gabrielle Union.
That was
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
I love it.
It
Well,
was.
also another distinguished playwright, Susan Laurie Parks, is going to be honored with the Steinberg Distinguished Playwright Award.
Come on.
So congratulations
Yes.
to Susan Laurie Parks, who has done so many different great things for the theater.
She has.
And she keeps working. It's just it's great. I just love her so much. The honor is presented by every other year to an American playwright whose body of work has made significant contributions to the American theater. So congratulations to her.
Queen.
Queen.
So this says she made history in 2002 as the first African American woman to receive the Pulitzer Prize in drama for her play Top Dog Underdog.
Yeah.
She won this award this year, so that's a feat, and she keeps winning. She's like,
She keeps making good work.
yeah, she's
does.
laid the path for
Great work.
Dominic Morisseau, and she's going to be coming right behind her. So I love. Tina Turner the musical.
Yes.
Oh, I know you're really excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, it's coming from London. So
Did y'all see those videos?
yeah. Oh, Adrienne Warren is not playing with y'all hoes.
I've heard.
But Adrienne Warren has always been a diligent,
She's not playing.
a diligent actress and a diligent talent. She goes hard, like she goes in.
I've heard. good
Shuffle
things.
Along, like she blew
Yes.
my mind
I'm mad
on
about
Shuffle
that.
Along. Like,
was great.
how?
I know.
It was
I
great.
Know.
How?
I know.
I'll send you the bootleg.
Please.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But yeah, it just she's gonna really she's coming for that Tony.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
musical will begin Broadway performances fall 2019.
Nice.
There's no cast set yet, but I'm sure Adrienne is coming because who else is going to do it?
Right.
Me.
The venue. And,
Yeah.
right.
Ashley said, the press release didn't come out
Right,
yet,
Ashley
but
said-
it's Ashley.
it's going to be her.
booked.
Yeah, and so I'm really, really excited for that. Also, King Kong started previews this
Yes,
week.
we started previews day before yesterday.
Yeah,
I
how you
can't-
feeling with that?
I'm great. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but I'm great.
Thank you for
we
being here
are-
again. Like I just appreciate you
yes.
coming in. So talk about the process for us a little bit. Like,
It's
what
been
has it
crazy.
been? What are you feeling? I mean, we saw the video with you where you saw.
Yes, tell me about this video. What you said?
No,
Because I didn't watch
hold on.
last
I'm
week.
talking about the video of you seeing the King Kong.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Seeing him for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. He's incredible. Like, I thought that it was going to be like acting with a green screen, and I was so excited to do that. Like, that was going to be a challenge. But then it turns out that he is an actor. Like, he is fully realized on stage. It takes is it 12 to 15 actors, I could be wrong, to manipulate his body and to make him move and come to life. And then there's actors in a voodoo booth up in the back of the house with the joysticks, making his face come alive and his mouth and his shoulders. And it is probably one of the coolest things I've ever done is do one scene with like 12 scene partners at one time. Wow. But the 12 scene partners are creating one soul and one body and move. It is like, wow, it's so dope. It's so dope.
Because that picture to see you in the arms of like,
it was awesome.
The creature, I don't even know like what to call it, like
the creature. I like that. We'll call him the creature.
Okay, the creature. Yeah, like to see it in you in the arms and like you're just so just graceful and elegant and beautiful. Like
I'm trying to make it look like that in the show.
Listen,
when we had that picture, we got to pose. I was like, oh, if only it could be like this.
Right.
We're actually doing it.
Well, you got it. And if y'all can see Christiani right now, she is, I mean, just Alicia Keys. Natural face, beautiful, like just gorgeous hair, like just she's dressed down, but she's like wig, she looks like a star.
Yeah,
she like you look like a star.
If I took this wig off though,
no,
I wouldn't be saying
like
that
it doesn't
same
even
story.
matter. No,
Still
yes,
a
we
star.
would. You still are a star.
No, they wouldn't.
And so I'm just so excited for you. Is there any part of the show that you're really excited about performing? Like, is there anything that you're like? Just cannot wait to, or that you're having fun with already?
Yeah, I mean, the show in general is like, I'm having so much fun because it is really, everyone knows the story if you've seen the movie. I mean, if not, you probably just know about a big gorilla. But we are having the challenge of like, why are we telling it right now? Why is it coming back right now? And
so why are you?
Well, there's many. One, because they got the money to do it. Like, let's just be honest.
Okay.
People have a lot of money and they believe in bringing animatronics and puppetry to stage.
Gotcha.
Like, and I think that they're doing something that has never been done before.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful to watch.
Awesome.
And what I appreciate is that they're saying that instead of us just being really proud of the work that we're doing with the animatronics and the puppetry, why don't we just try to develop a beautiful story?
Yeah.
Like, yes, we have the budget. Yes, we could just put up a really cool puppet and people would come to see it because he is that cool. Yes, we could do that. But why? Like, why?
Right.
And so we have a female producer named Carmen who is incredible. I love her so much. And she has been working with the show for years and continues to filter out teams because no one has decided to deliver her a script that she felt kind of explored the story in a deeper way. And finally she met Jack Thorne, who wrote Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and is like delivering her words that are just bringing the story to life in a way that people aren't going to be ready for. I know I wasn't ready for.
Yay.
And when I read the script, I was like,
okay.
This is because the story is told through Anne's perspective, and Anne is the female character who, in every other version of King Kong, has sort of been the sort of female love interest and like desire of Kong, which could get really creepy.
Yeah.
And I know for me as a black woman, I went back to watch the movies for like research. And I was like, oh, like I couldn't help but find the connection between like Birth of a Nation and the original King Kong. Like I just couldn't. I was like, I mean, because Birth of a Nation was a silent film.
Yeah.
King Kong was one of the first talkies of the time, and so I was like, is this the talkie version of like is? So I couldn't help but find the connection there. And what I love about our version is that Anne is so bold. Specifically because she is black and doing all the things that she's doing in 1930, like unapologetically.
Anne is your character.
Anne is the character I play.
Just in case people.
Yes, Anne is the character I play, and instead of the story being told through the filmmaker's perspective or being told through any other men's perspective, it's told through her eyes.
Yeah.
So you meet her as soon as she gets to New York City. And it just, for me, makes it more fascinating. Because when she winds up in Skull Island, you're like...
So in this video that you guys recorded, this is where you're coming, this is your introduction to New York City? Is that what this was supposed to be? Or like that?
So
like, where does this song take place?
That song in the show takes place when I do arrive in the city.
Gotcha.
And I show up and things don't go the way I expected them to.
Gotcha.
And because it's 1930, I didn't have a television. I just had radio and I had the newspapers that I read. And so I don't know anything about New York City. My character's from a farm in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
And I've only been to Indiana once. So. But,
You ain't missing nothing, girl.
Yeah.
but
Not
she.
true.
I worked there. I worked at Warsaw.
Oh,
Warsaw, Indiana?
she loves Indiana. I mean, the Johnny Appleseed Festival is there.
Yes.
It's not just Johnny Appleseed.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I won't talk bad about Indiana. I mean, I love where I'm from. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very great place to raise a family.
Yes.
Yep.
So but that's literally the life that Anne left, is that she was expected to raise a family and have the babies and take care of the home, and that's just not what she felt free to do.
Yeah.
And it's right off the heels of the Roaring Twenties, so she's like,
let me
black
go.
people are popping in New York. Like, I'm about to go do my thing, and so she goes to New York, and it's not what she's expected. She gets turned down from everything she tries to do, and then she sings "Queen of New York," which is the music video.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about this song.
Yes.
Because I'm underwhelmed.
Oh no!
I'm underwhelmed.
No.
I mean, you looked beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, the costuming and your presentation, your presence. Like I said, I know you have that. That's in the bag. Like you in your bag with that.
Come on.
But this song made me really question the material of this show, because I wanted to hear more from you. I felt like they didn't really use you.
Yeah.
And
I think that video
range
was misleading because it wasn't in the world of our show.
Okay.
That video was, the idea behind it was, if Anne was in 2018 and she just got to sing about how she felt at the moment, that's what we're going to do. So it was just for people to kind of hear the style of the show, which after it came out, I realized that a lot of people were confused by it. But
so that was the general consensus too. Like, you've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say general consensus, but I did have some people say, like, so is it modern? Like, what's the tea? Like, people were confused.
Yeah.
But then you had some people who were like so against seeing King Kong because they were like, "What are we doing?" Who saw the music video and were like, "Oh, okay, it's different. Like, it's not what I thought." So it worked. It didn't work. But yeah, I personally love it. And I think it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, because what is? But I think that with a piece like King Kong, you could have been so safe, and the music could have been so one way. And I appreciate that they are doing something completely different than what people
And
are
I do like the
expecting.
fact that from what I can see, the cast looks like it represents the world.
Oh my goodness. I have never worked with more Asian American actors and Latin American actors and black actors and white actors in one piece.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
never in my life.
it looks very
Never in
like
my
it
life.
represents the world, and that's why I was like, I got to get behind it, because it does.
And it's people constantly checking themselves, because although the cast is very diverse, our creative team, our producer is a white woman, our executive producer is a white woman, our other producer is a white man, our director is a white is a gay white man, our associate choreographer is a woman of color, but everybody else I just named is white. And I also love to watch around these the tables that we have, them acknowledge that, like,
we don't know.
I know
anything.
who I am.
Yeah.
So let's open up the conversation, and you tell me if something doesn't feel right, or if something doesn't sound right, or if something feels culturally inappropriate.
Right.
And they are checking it and they are changing it.
Yeah.
Which I cannot say I had in my former experience in this community. I didn't feel represented at all.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like we had opinions that things made us uncomfortable, and people were like,
Oh, well.
Yeah.
sorry, do you want the gig
Or
or
not.
no?
Right.
And we wanted the gig.
Right.
And now I'm in a position where things come up. Actors say, is that what you mean when you put that word in there? Like, the word slave used to be used in our show, and they're all British, so they just meant it to mean hard work.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have a lot of black actors who said, well, here's the thing.
We from
the
America.
US, if you have a black person talking about slavery, we don't mean it to mean we're working hard. That's not what we're saying.
No.
It's a whole different world. Now, if you want to explore that, because it's 1930.
Right.
So if you want to explore that, you want to talk about that, that's one thing.
That's a whole nother
That's
layer.
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Do we want to take the time and to watch them say, "Oh my goodness, we don't want to. We don't have the tools to explore that,
Or the time.
We don't have the time, and we don't have the knowledge, so we're not."
No.
And
Boom.
and so that's what
That's
my
beautiful.
process has been.
So
with King
beautiful.
Kong.
That is really beautiful.
It's and they're asking me.
And that's all it takes.
This is what we're asking for.
Right. This is exactly what we're
simple.
asking
Once
for.
again, it's so healthy.
Healthy.
It's just healthy.
It's helpful. And it's simple. That's the other thing. It's so easy.
so easy.
It's so easy.
It's
They think they know it
easier.
all. That's
Right.
And that
Yeah.
they don't need us to be in the rooms to
Woo!
help
No.
form these things. But this
Jesus.
is the prime example.
I'm really having the time of my life working with these people who are so open to telling a story through a different person's perspective and allowing me to just bring what is my truth
Yeah.
to the character.
I want to see the show now.
Me too.
Well, listen, make sure you go see King Kong. It begins previews. It began on October 5th.
Yes,
with
we're
a
here,
black
y'all.
Andaro
Come
played
on.
by
Yes.
Christiani
Yes.
Pitts.
Blackity black and
Listen.
Excellent.
And it officially opens on November the 8th. So make sure you look. You ready? Did you not know? Did you not know when it?
Oh,
you
it
not
just
know when it
sounds so
opened?
close when you say it. Jesus.
You got about 4 weeks. So you got some time.
It's happening.
Yeah,
some
it's
time.
happening.
It'll be
It's
great.
happening. It's
I'm
a
ready.
dream come true, man. It's really crazy.
She not ready. I'm ready.
Congratulations.
Well, we
Right?
just
I'm
listen.
like, I'm coming.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
One way or the other.
Yeah,
I
y'all gotta
love
let
it.
me know when y'all come.
Oh, well, I'll be the
Now I
opening.
have you saw my video at my dressing room.
I did.
So now y'all gotta come hang out.
Yes.
Yes.
So okay. So
Space.
if you didn't see the video, she talks about. Go ahead. Tell the story about the dressing room.
Okay, so I'm gonna shut up after this, but I'm a huge Patina Miller fan. Love her. And in college, I sang "Fabulous Baby" from Sister Act religiously. Like, it was my audition song. It was my warm up song. It was. I just did it too much. And I was in my dressing room now for King Kong cleaning up, and I looked under my dressing room station, and she signed it because that was her dressing room when she was playing Dolores in Sister Act.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, God.
Wow.
It was just another moment of being like, okay, Jesus, like this is
Wow.
exactly
Full circle.
full circle.
And another full circle moment is your understudy Kayla,
Yes.
who went to Ball State.
What?
She went to Ball State with us.
Yes.
Well, not with us. She's a little bit
Right.
younger than we are.
She is a
But I
baby.
did
My
go back to
goodness.
Ball State one year. They invited me to come back, and I was doing a speech for Sade, my close friend Sade. You know Sade.
I know, Sade.
They were giving her an alumni award. And so we
Yes.
went back to do that, and I gave her the award. I gave the speech to give her the award. And we went to go see Hairspray, and Kayla was in Hairspray. So we just met her and a couple of other the black students and just tried to speak into them, and they were just so great. But Kayla said that she was a full circle moment, or you were a full circle moment for her, because when she was graduating from school, she had to started researching people and wanted to see what type of people she wanted her career to be like. And she said she found you.
Wow.
And she found your
Yeah.
website. She said she wasn't just looking at stars, she was looking at personalities and people. And she found your website, and you had a quote on there about, being God-fearing and wanting to inspire people. And she had never seen someone use those words in the same sentence before. And so being your understudy was a full circle moment for her, which I thought was
Yeah.
just very beautiful, and a full circle moment
is
for us with Ball
beautiful.
State University.
Yes.
Yes, church.
Yeah,
Come
so
on.
I just thought that was beautiful. So I'm so happy for you, Christina.
Thank you,
Christiani, that you are getting this opportunity, that you are paving the way for new black actresses and black actors to come into the business.
Man, and
that's
that's what we're
beautiful.
doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're
That's
doing. And
beautiful.
me and Michael were talking about this earlier about like normalizing. Just it's cool to be the first black woman to play this part. I'm honored, but I love that we're not trying to.
Use that as a selling point.
No,
Right.
no, don't do that.
Right.
I worked my ass off in the audition. I told you I didn't think I was going to get it, so I was going in there with bold choices and doing things that were so ridiculous. And I'm working hard, and I'm just telling a story.
Right.
And I am telling the story as a black woman. I don't need you to throw in layers of like. And then she really came from. I just don't need you to create another story just to showcase to people that she's black and look how cool we are that we're putting this black girl for. You don't have to do all that.
Right.
Your talent is the story,
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
and they gonna get the message.
Come on.
The
Gonna get it.
humanity.
We're about to get it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I love it. So thank you so much, y'all. We're going to wrap up the Hot Topics real quick here to finish it with some church announcements. Al Roker has started his run on Waitress.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Brother
Yeah,
Roker.
Yes, Brother Roker. Go and check him out if that's something you love. Nicoletta's still over there shining, so make sure you go see her
Living.
as well. They also changed the costumes to pink to represent breast cancer awareness this month. So go
Really?
check that out
That's
and support them. Cuba Gooding Jr. started his run in Chicago as Billy Flynn. And Todrick Hall will be joining the national tour in the same role October 16th through 20th in Detroit.
Really?
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, so go check them out. Go see it. Support them. Shout out to Nick Rashad Burroughs, who had his show last night at the Apollo. He sold out. He played James Brown, and I heard great things about that. So I'm excited I'm sure that he'll continue. I love when us as black artists are able to create our own work, sell it out, and be able to keep doing it. Like,
amazing.
you know,
Yep.
yes, please
That's
keep doing it. I
amazing.
love
Yeah.
and I really want to see all of the artists that do that all maybe come together and do
And
one show.
Yes.
Like Cindy Winters does Lena Horne, Chester Gregory does Jackie Wilson. Like I would love, maybe I might do. I'll make them do
together.
that.
Yeah,
I think I might do
That would be
that. So
it.
don't y'all take my idea.
Listen, you heard it here first.
I'm in Cindy's DMs like, hey,
Right.
girl, I got this crazy.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna move right along. We got a listener letter today.
Ooh.
So, and I want you guys' opinion on what's happening with the listener letter. So I'm going to just, because this is all getting a little long. But there are a couple of different things. So let me see. Let me just choose a good one. And then we going, because it was so many different
Now I
things.
gotta get out of
this week.
here by a certain time. I got homework.
I know you.
Homework.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finishing my degree
Yeah.
because I can afford
Another
it now.
casual thing that she didn't admit.
Right, like just
yes.
just go on and do it. Okay. Oh, well, we'll talk about this because this just happened this past week. So racism is alive and well in the American theater. My friend Galen Williams emailed in to share his experience. He says, "Hey, family. Y'all know I love me some y'all, and I look forward to Mondays when a new episode of the podcast is released. And as this event was taking place, I said to myself, I gotta tell Broadway Black about this because I knew y'all would be the ones to listen and hear me out in this story of racist foolishness in the theater. This is a dissertation, so buckle up. I went to see A Night with Janis Joplin at La Mirada Theater, which is about 20 miles east of L.A. My good friend Tamar is in the Tamar Davis. I think that's her name. Tamar Davis, yes. Who was in Tyler Perry. I love Tamar Davis. She was in Motown. She was in Tyler Perry. She plays like the daughter in Laugh to Keep From Crying. Or
no.
Also Medea's Christmas.
Okay.
She plays the daughter in that as well. She sings down when I tell you she sings down. So she's in this show. We went to go see her. She's in the cast, and they just so happened to be recording the live stream event for Broadway HD. For the record, the show was amazing. Those throats were manufactured in Wakanda and coated in vibranium, including Mary Bridget Davies, who played Janice. Now, y'all know that there's a theater etiquette that needs to be abided by, and you would think in this predominantly white audience there would be a general knowledge of said etiquette. But somehow I got set next to the coofless Latino racist trash that didn't know how to act. We're sitting in the front row of the theater, and this woman is acting like she's at a full-on rock concert, screaming and hollering during intimate moments, dancing by her goddamn self, almost on the damn stage herself. So I give her the look black mamas give when they kids are acting out in public. The have you lost your mind face. She sees me and says loud as hell while the show is going on, "What the fuck are you looking at, you stupid Negro? Fuck you." And she proceeds to flip me off. I swear the rage of all our ancestors flared up inside me, and I damn near saw red, but because I have class and decorum, I keep my cool and keep watching the show. 5 minutes later, she's escorted out. She escorts herself out the theater and remains away for the rest of Act 1. I thought the strength of all our black mothers had won and got her out of the theater from the look I gave her, and reported her to house management, hoping they'd keep her and her squad from re-entering, but her ass and her crew came waltzing back in after Act 2 has started. Fast forward to the end of the show as the audience is beginning to exit. I say to her, "That was very racist thing for you to say. You need to do better." And she proceeds to try to apologize and say, "That's just our slang." Bish, what? I said, "No, that's not slang. It's racist. And y'all are racist for letting her say it and not do anything about it. Do better." As other white audience members are trying to move me and keep me from having this conversation. What would y'all have done if this were you? Should I have blocked her out and just enjoyed the show regardless of her foolishness? Was I wrong for speaking up? I just need to know I'm not crazy. Sorry for the thesis, but this tea was too much to drink by myself. Be blessed and black always.
You're not crazy.
He's not clearly not crazy, but also more than that, you're a human.
Mm-hmm.
You're a human. Like earlier when I was talking about being afforded something as simple as basic dignity, in that moment, what that woman tried to do was to take away his dignity.
Yeah.
That's what she was trying to do. And that's what she did. And that's what the people who were with her allowed her to do in that moment. Now, there's a certain amount of dignity that you have within yourself that nobody should be able to touch or take away from you. But there should also be a certain amount of respect that you can just expect from people around you. And using that word, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I know myself, and I know that would have taken me out of my head for the rest of the show. And that woman, to be perfectly honest, she owes him money.
Right.
Because you just wasted my money. I came out here to see a show and enjoy myself.
And not hear you.
Yeah. And you just like messed up my good time.
And then her excuse of, oh, that's a word we use.
Like, who is we?
Right? Who like that's just our
I don't
slang.
know you.
But you know,
I have seen a lot of
Latino-
on the you say the N word.
yeah,
Like, is
and
that
I'll be
Oh,
fine
yes,
with that.
that's
is that
interesting.
a thing?
Because I lived in Jersey for a little bit, and everyone said the N word. It wasn't until I moved to Atlanta that it was. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. It's interesting with Latinos saying the N word.
I often try to look at somebody and I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, sometimes I'm not gonna. I can't tell what somebody is and what they not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
'Cause,
I don't.
people come up to me and start speaking Spanish. And I'm
Right, like, and
Because
it's like,
they're black
I'll be like,
Latinos.
bitch.
yeah.
They're black. They're
Oh, no.
Afro Latinos.
So
that
in
are black as
situations,
me.
Right.
So
Yeah,
in
there
situations
is.
like that,
But they don't want to claim black though. They don't want to be black.
Some
Yeah,
do though.
a lot
that's
of-
the thing.
A lot of them don't want to be black.
The ones that, and it's like you're not gonna, and that's the stuff that messes me up, right? Because it's like it's also the way you using it. Somebody, because it ain't no slang when you saying
Call-
it at
right.
me
This
Right.
is, yeah, that's
in
just
this
different.
moment.
This is
That's
different.
not slang.
Yeah.
You know, like that's something different.
And then
don't try
Negro?
to, don't try to act like I'm crazy and I don't know like what you said and I don't know
Right.
how you meant it in a moment.
Right.
Like I hate it when people do that.
Right.
That gaslighting shit.
But the
Right.
fact that he went and told the theater and they still did not
Do
remove
anything?
her.
Yeah, that's
and
kinda
That's not
also,
surprising.
Also, even, Mary Bridget Davis, he wrote this status on Facebook as well, and she commented, she said, she was an entire shame. I applaud your restraint, but also, why did you need to implement it? Because a dummy
Why?
wanted to be the center of attention? The worst. You were an absolute gentleman and gave her all the face and shade that she deserved. She also said that she wanted to stop, but she wanted to stop and call her out, but she couldn't because we were taping. And they had to keep filming for continuity, but she would have normally done it.
How was she not escorted?
She said she was
out?
furious. Like, she was furious. I just don't understand how she was even let back into the theater. And that's the thing that we have to, because it's almost like establishments want to cater to, no matter what is happening to black bodies or black people, they want to cater to the fair-skinned or the other race. In that situation, it always feels like we're the ones that is causing the disturbance because we're reacting to
Right.
what is happening.
Because let that been a white man that complained
Right.
about anybody or a white woman that complained.
Oh my
about
gosh, the
anybody.
whole row would have been gone.
gone
yeah.
Like,
in an instant.
and that's just infuriating to me.
Yeah, and you did
yeah.
the right thing by because he was being polite. He didn't say anything. He just tried to say like, could you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody knows that look. She
Right.
knew that look, and
Right.
she knew what it meant.
yeah,
And that's why she
And-
said something.
Right, exactly.
And
So-
Mary Bridget Davis also said, she said, there's a fun exchange in our show when I talk about West Side Story. Every time, twice, but still too much, she said East Side Story. Then she swore at me in Spanish. She said, I don't speak it, but I understand it. And it took all of my nerve not to engage her. She was clearly high, heroin high. I had no time for it.
not heroin high.
Ooh,
oh,
so
Lord.
she responded to
Oh,
something
Lord.
in the show.
Well, she was pretty much almost on stage.
How did
No,
no one
no.
take her
Now
out?
somebody should have shut that down.
Like,
yeah,
I guess the guy that was with her, the sir that was with her, because I also watched this on his Instagram story because he posted it several different places because he was so upset. He was saying that the guy that was with her said to him, well, you need to watch how you look at women.
Okay.
Watch how I look at. This is my face, sir. I do what I want with my face.
Right.
You don't get to
Also,
And don't make it sound like he was like sexualizing her.
Right.
He was trying to tell you to please be quiet so I can enjoy the show.
Right.
That's-
Right.
Because
don't
now you're
try to-
disturbing.
clearly.
It's
Right.
one thing to have a good time, but it's another thing to disturb my experience as well.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just rude. It's not like you're
Right.
just like engaging with the show and trying to clap along and encouraging them to do better. Because we do that. We clap along. We
Right.
talk
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
we talk
yeah,
to the
yeah.
stage. Us as black people, we do that, so we understand.
Yeah.
So there's a certain line that you just don't cross.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Making the
a
show about
person. You ever get on the train and somebody start doing and saying stuff that you're like they're waiting for the first person to say something to them. That's what she like. It's clear that's what she was.
She
doing.
wanted somebody.
She was
to,
trying to get some
To
kind
rise
of
up to
reaction
somebody.
out of somebody.
She's
Yeah.
attention
But I feel like New
seeking.
Yorkers are so conditioned to just be like,
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna give it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is in L.A. And that show was really good. I saw the
Oh.
show here when it was on Broadway.
Right.
It didn't get its just due, but Mary Bridget Davis, she was nominated for a Tony for it, and rightfully
Yes.
so. She sings her ass off as Janis Joplin. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Like the grit and the way she embodies and she's funny and she's like. So I can't wait to see that on Broadway HD. So. But just be mindful when you see the show. This was the experience that was at. So I wonder how they are changing the camera angles or going to edit
Right.
it to be able to
Interesting.
get all of that
Yeah.
There's
out.
always something when they record live shows.
It is.
Yeah.
It always-
Always something.
That's when
And
somebody.
maybe
act
she
up.
knew that was. I mean, because
Right.
they knew it was recorded, so maybe she got drunk and said, "I'm gonna be in this video."
Y'all gonna hear me or
Right.
you'll
But
see
there
my
are those
hands.
people who go see shows who just can't see the show, who have to like have some kind of spotlight on them,
Yeah.
who have to laugh the loudest or do something.
Right. Just relax. Just
Yeah.
enjoy the show.
Well, y'all, I thank y'all so much for helping us and answering the questions and coming in and being a part of Off Book. It's been a pleasure. Any last announcements you might want to, anything that you didn't get to say that you want to say? Y'all got it?
Lord bless you all.
Yes, yes. So
Stay black.
hopefully you all have made
Yes.
some new friends here in the studio today.
Yes.
I like you.
That y'all would
people.
connect,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's what it's all about. I love y'all so much, and I thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all so much for listening. It's been an amazing episode. You've been listening to a new episode of Off Book presented to you by Broadway Black. We've just hit our marks, and we've done it right now. My name is Drew Shade.
Michael Oloyede.
Christiani Pitts.
And Ashley Ford.
All right, y'all. We out of this. Peace. Thank you. Have a good
Peace.
night.
Bye.
Woo!